Welcome to AI Otaku Studio. Like, subscribe, and enjoy this video. Chapter 1: The Villain Plays to the Peak. Deposit your brains here. Shen Anyu looked at the bright red flower on the white sheet, lost in thought. In his previous life, Shen Anyu was just an ordinary college graduate, a corporate slave who had just started working, struggling for a house and a dowry. His few relaxations were coming home exhausted from overtime, reading novels, scrolling through short videos, or studying calculus before sleep. One day he read a novel, Master Descends the Mountain, My Stunning Sister-in-Law, and the author truly grasped the essence of Cao Gong. Seeing the blood-pumping, exciting parts, he knocked over his water, got electrocuted, and died straight away. And he was reborn into the world of this novel. All of this he only realized 2.5 days ago, when Shen Anyu broke through the mystery of the womb and awakened his memories from his previous life. In this life, Shen Anyu was no longer an ordinary corporate slave with an average background, struggling for a house his whole life. Instead, his background was unimaginably prominent. It could be said that from the moment he was born, he was at a peak that billions of people couldn't reach in 10 lifetimes. The Shen in Shen Anyu was the Shen of the Shen family of Yangxia, and the Enyu was the Enyu of the family of Yangxia. Only truly top-tier noble families could be named after the country. Any Magic City Yi family or Imperial Capital Zyro family were merely at the bottom among noble families. Even abroad, as long as someone had a little insight, mentioning the Shen family of Yangxia or the family of Yangxia meant knowing what kind of behemoths they were. The Shen family of Yangxia country. Wealthy for 1,000 years, remaining standing despite the rise and fall of dynasties. His grandfather was a founding elder of the country, residing in Beihai. His grandmother was the dean of the Imperial Academy of Sciences, with students and disciples all over the world. His father resided in the imperial capital, holding the center of power. His mother managed the Shen conglomerate, with wealth in the trillions. His mother's family was not inferior in the slightest. The family of Yangxia country. His maternal grandfather was a pillar of the country, the soul of the military. His maternal grandmother was a descendant of a hidden sect, with unfathomable strength. His aunt was a female war god, the chief instructor of the top special forces, the Fire Phoenix, appointed to lead. His uncle was a financial tycoon. A single word from him about a market downturn could shake the world economy. His aunt was a top musician, famous both at home and abroad. His eldest cousin was the national goddess, a world-famous superstar with countless awards and hundreds of millions of fans. All his relatives were either rich or powerful. Shen Anyu was a true top-tier second-generation rich, a second-generation power. A noble of the family, high above in the clouds. Moreover, the third generation of the Shen and families had few males. Apart from Shen Anyu, they were all daughters. It goes without saying, just like Jia Beiryu, who was born with jade in his mouth. The Shen and families doted on Shen Anyu to the extreme. With his status, even the crown princes and princesses of the Beijing circle had to respectfully call him Brother Shen, not daring to be even slightly negligent, let alone offend him. Unfortunately, he should have enjoyed a life of ease and pleasure. As a result, Shen Anyu ended up with his family destroyed, becoming a victim under the feet of Yi Yan, the protagonist of Master Descends the Mountain, My Stunning Sister-in-Law. Fortunately, I awakened my memories from my previous life and broke through the mystery of the womb. Otherwise, I would have been mocked for losing even with a flying dragon riding my face, becoming a laughingstock. Shen Anyu's eyes flickered, and he sneered in his heart. The Magic City Yi family, where Yi Yan belonged, could be considered a first-class family in Magic City, thriving. But 5 years ago, Yi Yan's father got arrogant, and, overestimating his capabilities, competed with the Shen conglomerate for a new district project worth tens of billions. Naturally, he was no match for Shen Enyu's mother. However, seeing that he couldn't win the competition, Yi Yan's father made a crazy move, attempting to harm Shen Enyu's mother in a car accident. Fortunately, he didn't know that Shen Enyu's mother had a deep family heritage and had achieved success in martial arts. Otherwise, the consequences would have been unimaginable. The Shen Anyu families were furious after learning the truth, and overnight, the thriving Magic City Yi family collapsed. In desperation, Yi Yan's father set a fire that turned the old Yi family residence into ruins, and almost their entire family was wiped out. Yi Yan escaped by luck, but turned a misfortune into a blessing, was saved by an expert, and taught peerless martial arts and various skills. 5 years later, carrying supreme skills and having taken over the vast forces of the Netherworld Palace from his master, Yi Yan descended the mountain, acting cool and slapping faces along the way, trampling the Shen Anyu families under his feet, surrounded by beautiful women, and reaching the peak of his life. Of course, what many readers complained about was that Master Descends the Mountain, My Stunning Sister-in-Law, a book with over 2,000 chapters, ended with Yi Yan still being a virgin. This made countless readers unable to hold back. Ahem, what Shen Anyu read was a brand new version, provided by an enthusiastic reader. Yi Yan, oh Yi Yan, the one who wiped out your entire family was your father's fire. You and my Shen Anyu families are locked in a mortal feud. Is there something wrong with your brain circuit? Shen Anyu was somewhat speechless about Yi Yan. Wasn't the bankruptcy of the Magic City Yi family self-inflicted by Yi Yan's father? Furthermore, it was also Yi Yan's father's fire that wiped out almost the entire Yi family. Yet Yi Yan hated the Shen Anyu families, and during his 5 years on the mountain, he practiced martial arts with a self-abusive obsession, fueled by the hatred of destroying the Shen Anyu families. Facing such a madman, Shen Anyu couldn't explain it at all. What made Shen Anyu even more worried was that he had only awakened his previous life's memories for 2.5 days, and the time for Yi Yan to descend the mountain was almost here. There wasn't much time to prepare. Facing the protagonist Yi Yan, who was favored by destiny, possessed supreme martial arts, and was the master of the Netherworld Palace, Shen Anyu felt it was extremely tricky. However, Shen Anyu was not someone who would sit still and wait for death. He immediately made all the preparations he could. He notified his father, mother, grandfather, grandmother, maternal grandmother, aunt, and other relatives. The Shen Anyu families didn't care about Yi Yan, a mere remnant of the Magic City Yi family, even at the peak of the Magic City Yi family, could be knocked into the abyss by a single word from the Shen Anyu families. But because of their doting on Shen Anyu, they took precautions. In addition, Shen Anyu hardened his heart and decided to strike first, taking down Lin Keqing, the most important woman in Yi Yan's life and the first heroine of Master Descends the Mountain, My Stunning Sister-in-Law. Although he had only awakened his memories for 2.5 days, it was more than enough for Shen Anyu. Even a single sentence of time was enough. Lin Keqing, you wouldn't want anything to happen to the Lin family, would you? Remembering that sentence, Lin Keqing's expression changed, and her face turned pale. Shen Anyu felt it was somewhat funny. He wasn't someone who would passively wait for death. Of course, Shen Anyu didn't threaten her. That was boring. It was just a transaction, yes, a transaction. Creak! As the bathroom door was pushed open, a bright and charming, stunning face was revealed. It was Lin Keqing, the stunning sister-in-law whom Yi Yan, the protagonist of Master Descends the Mountain, My Stunning Sister-in-Law, was so obsessed with. Lin Keqing bit her red lips with her pearly white teeth. Even though she was angry and aggrieved, her peach blossom eyes, which still looked affectionate, stared fixedly at Shen Anyu, and she said with a trembling voice, "A gentleman's word is as good as gold. Young Master Shen, what you wanted, I have already given to you. You must keep your promise and save the Lin family." The Lin family, where Lin Keqing belonged, was only considered a second-rate family in Magic City, with family assets of around 10 billion. 5 years ago, after the in-laws, the Magic City Yi family collapsed, the Lin family was also affected, suffering heavy losses and weakening day by day. The day before yesterday, someone maliciously shorted and suppressed them, and they were on the verge of bankruptcy. Having no other choice, in order to save the Lin family, Lin Keqing had to accept Shen Anyu's conditions. After all, she was kind and gentle by nature, and couldn't bear to watch her parents and family fall into despair. Shen Anyu smiled slightly, picked up his phone, gave some instructions, and then looked at Lin Keqing and said, "All right with me here, no one can touch the Lin family." Hearing this, Lin Keqing immediately breathed a sigh of relief and barely managed to show a trace of joy. She didn't notice the playful look that flashed in Shen Anyu's eyes. Because the one who ordered the suppression of the Lin family was none other than Shen Anyu himself. If there is no transaction demand, create one. Why bother with threats? A single order plunged the Lin family group, with a market value of 10 billion, into a desperate situation. This was the power of a top noble. Shen Anyu looked at Lin Keqing, thinking with a mischievous sense of humor, what kind of expression would the child of destiny, Yi Yan, have when he descended the mountain and found out about all this? It would certainly be very interesting. Chapter 2: Enjoying the Villain Life System activated. A day later, Shen Anyu narrowed his eyes, pondering how to use Lin Keqing as bait to set up an ambush, a net of justice, to surround and kill Yi Yan. Although Yi Yan was very strong from his first appearance, and had the world's most mysterious and terrifying top dark force, the Netherworld Palace, as his backing, it would not be so easy to deal with the Shen and families. How could a mere Netherworld Palace deal with the two top families of Yangxia? Even Yi Yan had spent nearly 1,000 chapters, step by step weakening the wings of the Shen and families, step by step using alliances and connections, pulling in the Yu family, another top Yangxia family hostile to the Shen and families, as well as several major foreign powers, before he finally completely annihilated the Shen and families. This was only because the Shen and families had not taken Yi Yan seriously at the beginning. Shen Anyu was confident that as long as he struck like lightning from the start, not giving Yi Yan any room to grow, strengthen, or form alliances, he could kill this child of destiny. However, Shen Anyu was still a bit worried. After all, since this was a novel world, if there was a protagonist halo or heaven-defying protection, allowing him to turn danger into safety and survive desperate situations, that would be bad. Ding, the Destiny Plundering System has been activated, starting to bind host Shen Anyu, binding in progress. 5%. 28%. 49%. Shen Enyu's spirits lifted, and he said happily, "The system is here." System, what features do you have? 100%. Ding, the Destiny Plundering System has been bound. Can plunder destiny value from the child of destiny, obtain everything. Shen Anyu was thoughtful, then began to explore this Destiny Plundering System, discovering that this system had no intelligence. There were no tasks or anything of the sort, which made him breathe a sigh of relief. Systems that forced tasks and punished or wiped you out for failing were all garbage. The main function of the Destiny Plundering System was to plunder destiny value and draw lotteries. 10 consecutive draws guaranteed a purple, 100 consecutive draws guaranteed a gold, 1,000 consecutive draws guaranteed a divine rank. Single draws depended on luck. One draw cost 1,000 destiny value. Shen Anyu felt a bit speechless. Thinking of an open-world game, he shook his head and thought. System, be more useful. Do you have any newbie gift packs? Ding, there is no newbie gift pack. Shen Enyu's expression turned sour, and he thought. Little system, are you even capable? Ding, detected favorability of destined heroine Lin Keqing +10, plundered +30, 000 destiny value. Ding, detected favorability of destined heroine Lin Keqing +10, plundered +30, 000 destiny value. Ding, detected favorability of destined heroine Lin Keqing +10, plundered +30, 000 destiny value. Ding, detected favorability of destined heroine Lin Keqing +6, plundered +18, 000 destiny value. Favorability soared to 66, and in total, he had over 190, 000 destiny value. Shen Anyu was in a great mood. Shen Anyu did not intend to expose the traces of the system, so he went to the bathroom and locked the door. After washing his hands, Shen Anyu couldn't wait to start drawing. System, give me a single draw. A single draw creates miracles. Ding, consumed 1,000 destiny value, performing a single draw. Ding, congratulations to the host, obtained common reward, 1 box of Nutri Happy. Shen Enyu's face turned dark. Anything below purple was classified as a common reward. Shen Anyu was unwilling to give up. With a thought, a box of Nutri-Happy appeared out of thin air before him. He couldn't even be amazed by this magical scene. Shen Anyu opened it directly and drank a bottle. Damn it, it really is Nutri-Happy. Shen Anyu threw it in anger. Again, continue the single draw. Ding, congratulations to the host, obtained common reward, 1 box of Nutri-Happy. Ding, congratulations to the host, obtained common reward, 1 box of Nutri-Happy. Ding, congratulations to the host, obtained common reward, 1 latest Huawei mobile phone. Shen Anyu's face turned green. He was an unlucky person in his past life. Was he still an unlucky person with heaven-defying luck in this life? He didn't believe it. Fine, single draws don't work right. All in, give me 100 consecutive draws. Ding, consumed 100,000 destiny value, performing 100 consecutive draws. Ding, congratulations to the host, obtained common reward, 1 box of Nutri-Happy. Shen Anyu was stunned. Why did he have such a grudge against Nutri-Happy? However, just at this moment, a brilliant golden light flashed before his eyes, and Shen Enyu's eyes lit up. Got something good. Ding, congratulations to the host, obtained gold reward, Grandmaster level martial arts cultivation. Great luck. Hearing the system prompt in his mind, a look of surprise and joy erupted in Shen Enyu's eyes. As a top young master of a noble family, Shen Anyu naturally knew many things others did not. For example, the real martial arts world. In this world, the martial arts realm is divided into acquired, innate, grandmaster, great grandmaster, heaven and man as one, and land immortal. Each major realm is divided into 4 small realms: early stage, middle stage, late stage, and peak. Innate experts had already broken through the limits of the human body and could easily crush those so-called boxing champions. And a martial arts grandmaster was extraordinary, sitting in charge of a region. Even billionaires and other big shots had to treat them with courtesy. In fact, for a martial arts grandmaster, earning hundreds of millions or even billions in net worth was not difficult. And a great grandmaster was even more extraordinary. Shen Enyu's aunt was a martial Dao great grandmaster, a female war god in the military, the chief instructor of the top special forces, the Fire Phoenix, and was appointed as a general. As for heaven and man as one, they were the pillars of the nation whose mere stomping could cause earthquakes. Shen Enyu's grandfather was a supreme expert of the celestial realm who could split a battleship with his bare hands. As for the land immortal, it had long since become a legend and had not appeared for many years. Even the protagonist Yi Yan, who came down from the mountain as an expert, only achieved land immortal in the very late stages. When Yi Yan first came down the mountain, he was only at the Grandmaster Peak realm, though he cultivated a mysterious ancient cultivation technique and could fight above his level against ordinary great grandmasters. Yi Yan's master, the expert, was also a celestial realm powerhouse with an unfathomable background. I didn't expect to draw Grandmaster cultivation. Shen Anyu took a deep breath and, without thinking, directly extracted the reward. In an instant, a brilliant golden light appeared out of thin air and merged into Shen Enyu's body. Boom! In an instant, Shen Enyu's aura expanded rapidly, as if great rivers and oceans were churning within his bloodline meridians. Such a terrifying aura leaked out, causing Lin Keqing outside to faint directly. And the guards protecting Shen Anyu in the dark immediately appeared. I am fine, retreat. Also, this matter is top secret. Yes, young lord. As the cultivation was absorbed, Shen Enyu's strength was also rapidly improving. From the acquired realm of a dabbler, he soared directly to innate. Innate middle stage. Innate late stage. Grandmaster early stage. Boom! Accompanied by a loud bang, Shen Anyu only felt his whole body filled with surging power. With a casual clench of his fist, he directly squeezed the air, as if a thunderclap had exploded on flat ground. Who is this? The feeling of power? Shen Anyu looked at his hands, a look of amazement appearing in his eyes. He was not a cultivation trash. On the contrary, his talent was excellent, and he was highly valued by the Shen and families. But the original Shen Anyu had been spoiled since childhood and was used to enjoying himself. He couldn't endure the hardship of learning martial arts, so his cultivation and strength were mediocre. But now Shen Anyu had awakened the memories of his past life, and in just 2.5 days, he had broken through to the martial arts grandmaster. The little system is not bad, not worse than the deep blue add points cheat, very satisfying. Shen Anyu shook his head, smiling. By the way, there are still many rewards from the 100 consecutive draws that I haven't checked yet. Following that, Shen Anyu checked the rewards. However, at this look, Shen Enyu's eyes widened, and his whole body trembled with excitement. Hiss, it actually is a divine rank reward. Chapter 3 Divine Rank Reward off the charts powerful, unless. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the divine rank reward, Steel Body. After Shen Anyu claimed this divine rank reward, the Steel Body, his entire body was enveloped in layers of rosy light. Soon as the rosy light dissipated, Shen Enyu's figure was revealed. His skin was crystal clear like jade, emitting a faint divine radiance, and his eyes were filled with the pressure of a dragon, making the air seem to grow heavy. Steel Body, I'm afraid that even without using internal energy or protective aura, this flesh and blood body alone could block bullets, or even artillery fire. Not even a plain explosion could kill me. Shen Anyu felt the power of the Steel Body, and only 4 words appeared in his mind. Off the charts powerful. Although he was currently only at the early stage of the Grandmaster rank, with this steel body that was impervious to swords, spears, water and fire, he could beat even a great Grandmaster to death with his bare hands. Not even a Heavenman expert could break his defense. Shen Anyu suspected that even a supersonic missile couldn't kill him. If Yi Yan appeared before him now, as long as that guy didn't run, Shen Anyu had the confidence to hammer him to death with his steel body. With the divine steel body, it could be said that he was now in an invincible position. There is a downside, though. Shen Anyu suddenly shook his head and sighed, his face full of wistfulness. With this body, who could handle it? A mortal couldn't. Maybe I need a Bai-Sujin. Immediately after, Shen Anyu used all his destiny value for draws. Shen Anyu looked down on most of the items. Among the ordinary rewards, the small ones were things like nutritional supplements or Huawei phones. The large ones were supercars, luxury villas, etc. Perhaps ordinary people would dream of these, but how could they catch Shen Enyu's eye? Limited edition Rolls-Royce and Bugatti Veyron. Shen Anyu had a whole garage full of them at home. The top-tier Jiangjing mansion in the Magic City, which he was living in now, was worth 2 billion and spanned 8,000 square meters in the city center. Besides that, there were some elementary, intermediate, and advanced skills, which were not rare at all. Many people possessed them. Those with a monthly salary of 100,000 could queue up to the imperial capital. Once reaching the purple rank, it involved real good stuff, some incredible rewards, such as martial arts cultivation, top-tier skills, etc. For any top-tier skill, the possessor could be said to stand at the peak of mortals and leave their name in history. The golden rewards and divine rank rewards, needless to say, were priceless. Among them were the rewards that Shen Anyu valued. 19 purple rewards, 9 innate cultivation, 2 top-tier music skills, a top-tier fighting skill, a top-tier hacking skill, a top-tier driving skill. Ahem, rewards can be stacked. Can 10 innate cultivations be fused into 1 Grandmaster cultivation? Can 10 top-tier music skills be fused into 1 extraordinary musician? Shen Anyu was thoughtful and eager to try. In addition, his luck was bursting, and he also had 2 golden rewards. 1 golden perfect ability copy card. It could specify and copy 1 extraordinary ability of a child of destiny with an even more perfect effect. 1 destined child positioning card. It could locate the nearest child of destiny and provide detailed intelligence. The nearest child of destiny. Shen Anyu was quite surprised. Could it be that there was more than 1 child of destiny in this world? But the system did not answer, requiring Shen Anyu to explore it himself. Explore it myself it is. Having the Destiny Plundering System was like removing a heavy stone from his heart. Shen Anyu was in a good mood. Looking at Lin Keqing before him, he asked casually, "By the way, did you marry that deadbeat Yi Tian, the older brother of Yi Yan? What's the situation?" Lin Keqing bit her lip and said nothing. Not talking. Shen Anyu raised an eyebrow. He knew how to deal with her. I'll tell you. Lin Keqing finally gave in. Looking at the smirking Shen Anyu, Lin Keqing was helpless. Lin Keqing moved slightly away from Shen Anyu, steadied her heart and spoke. "I have a traditional personality. Just after the wedding with Yi Yan's older brother, Yi Tian, was held, something happened to the Magic City Yi family." Speaking of this, Lin Keqing felt a bit lost. She and Yi Tian didn't have any feelings for each other. It was just a marriage alliance where the Lin family was currying favor with the Yi family. They hadn't even met a few times. They hadn't even held hands. But the title of widow before marriage had followed her for 5 years, and she didn't know how many people had mocked her as a jinx. For the past 5 years, she had closed her heart and locked away love, immersing herself in her fashion design company. She had originally thought she would spend her life like this. As a result, however, she didn't have much resentment towards Shen Anyu, because it was a business marriage with the Yi family, and no feelings had been cultivated before she entered the family. Instead, she felt ripples in her heart for the incomparably handsome and extremely domineering Shen Anyu. Ding, detected favorability of destined heroine Lin Keqing +3, plundered +9,000 destiny value. Shen Anyu looked at Lin Keqing, feeling a bit emotional. The great Eileen Chang was right. One more question, why is Yi Yan obsessed with you? What? Hearing Shen Enyu's words, Lin Keqing was startled, and then her pretty face turned angry, as if she had received a great insult. She opened her peach blossom eyes, which had no lethality, and glared at Shen Anyu. "You're talking nonsense, I have nothing to do with Yi Yan." Shen Anyu looked at this bright, charming and stunning face, and couldn't help but sigh. "It's perfectly normal for Yi Yan to be attracted to you, even if you are his sister-in-law who hasn't entered the family yet. In the whole world, there is no man who wouldn't be attracted to you. Unless they are a eunuch or don't like women. Not to mention his past life, even in this life, as a top-tier young master, Shen Anyu had seen countless beauties, but he had never met a woman more beautiful than Lin Keqing. Even his older cousin was only on par, each with their own beauty." Lin Keqing heard Shen Enyu's praise, but sighed, her expression somewhat melancholy, saying, "A beauty is a curse, it's not a good thing. It would be better if no one had ever seen this face." She wasn't stupid, and now she had come to her senses. The problems of the Lin family were likely caused by Shen Anyu. Self-directed and self-acted. Only she didn't know why. She didn't have much anger in her heart. She was actually enjoying it a little. Shen Anyu looked at Lin Keqing with a smile that wasn't quite a smile, and said leisurely, "Then how about I build a golden house and hide you away, so that outsiders can't see you? Just the two of us." Lin Keqing said hurriedly, "I didn't mean that. I meant that." Chapter 4, A New Child of Destiny. Shen Anyu laughed out loud. By the afternoon of the next day, while Shen Anyu was asleep, Lin Keqing finally left cautiously. Shen Anyu opened his eyes. There was no trace of sleepiness in them, only absolute clarity. "Send 2 people to protect Lin Keqing in secret, and also monitor her." As Shen Enyu's calm voice fell, 2 female guards dressed in black bodysuits nodded respectfully and followed Lin Keqing like shadows. These 2 female guards were elites cultivated by the Shen family, born and raised within the household, and absolutely loyal. Moreover, their strength was extraordinary. They were in the innate realm, capable of fighting lions and tigers, leaving no tracks on snow, and taking on 100 enemies alone. It would not be difficult for them to injure people with flying flowers and plucked leaves. Such loyal and powerful female guards. Outside, even with an annual salary of 10 million, one might not be able to hire them. Directly under Shen Enyu's command, ready to be dispatched at any time, there was a whole platoon of 30 people. The leader was even a martial arts grandmaster. The foundation of a top-tier noble family could be seen from this. The time for Yi Yan to descend the mountain is not far off. Before that, I must be prepared. Shen Anyu narrowed his eyes, a cold glint flashing across them. He liked his family in this life very much, and was very satisfied with his daily life in this life. No one could destroy it. Otherwise, death. He had already sent people to keep a constant watch on the ruins of the old Yi family residence, installing surveillance everywhere. That was the location where Yi Yan would first make his appearance. Once Yi Yan appeared, Shen Anyu would be able to detect it immediately and take action at once, setting an ambush from all sides. Yi Yan, when the time comes, your expression will surely be very interesting. Shen Anyu chuckled. That perverted, self-abusing cultivation fanatic had spent the past 5 years, day and night, looking forward to revenge and looking forward to seeing his beautiful sister-in-law Lin Keqing. When the time came, his expression would surely be very interesting. Over this day and 2 nights, Lin Keqing had provided him with a total of more than 200,000 destiny value. A huge profit. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribers, and share to AI Otaku Studio. She really was his treasure trove girl. Even her favorability had gone from below 0 to 76. If Yi Yan knew that his beautiful sister-in-law Lin Keqing, whom he missed and worried about so much, had already become the woman of his enemy, and had even brought the enemy so many rewards, how broken would he be? Shen Anyu was full of anticipation. He was in no rush to use the lucky draw for now. He still had tens of thousands of destiny value on hand, so he would save up to 100,000 for a 100-pull draw. Shen Enyu's eyes flickered as he calmed his mind and said, "System, use the destined child positioning card." Ding. Destined child positioning card activated. Searching for child of destiny. Currently searching. Please wait. Ding. A child of destiny has been located. Would you like to display the detailed information? Display. Name: Xia Liu. Age 22. Background: child of destiny from lecherous country, divine doctor, carefree in the city, has a marriage contract with Qin Ningbing, the beautiful president of the Magic City Renxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company. Cultivation: early stage innate realm. Abilities: extraordinary medical skill, extraordinary poison skill, Ghost Gate 13 needles, Needle of Creation, Shenong 9 needles. Personality: lecherous and low, despicable and shameless. Items: Divine Doctor's Precious Mirror, Calamity Poison Scripture. Associated heroines: beautiful President Qin Ningbing, Tsundia young Miss Su Hongmian, gentle goddess Dr. Murong Jiyu, hot-tempered police flower Lu Yan, pure little nurse Ruan Lingshan. Destiny value: 2 million. Lecherous country divine doctor, he. Shen Anyu rubbed his chin, a playful look flashing in his eyes. I'll play with you. On the other side, a young man wearing black cloth shoes, tattered pants, a white undershirt, and a straw hat walked on the bustling streets of Magic City, like a searchlight in the dark night, impossible to ignore. People around looked at this person, either pointing and whispering or avoiding him from afar. But this young man did not care at all, saying excitedly, "This is Magic City. A big city, it's so prosperous." Just then his eyes suddenly widened, and his drool was almost dripping out. In front of him there was a beautiful young woman wearing a hip-hugging skirt, swaying her figure. This was not uncommon on the bustling streets of a big city, and the people around considered it normal. But for him, coming from a remote, 28th-tier small mountain village, it was simply an irresistible temptation. Damn, women in big cities are just so open, even the pretty widows in the village can't compare. If my future woman dresses like this, I'll spank her until she breaks. The young man wiped his nosebleed while swallowing his saliva and criticizing loudly. But his eyes were wide open, staring straight ahead, and blood was gushing from his nose. At this moment, a young beauty passing by looked at the young man with disgust, as if looking at trash, and said, "Aren't you too lecherous and low? Is that how you look at girls?" The young man raised his eyebrows and smiled, looking at the young beauty in front of him, and said with a grin, "Beauty, how did you know my name is Xia Liu? Xia as in Xia, Liu as in Liu." Speaking of this, Xia Liu's eyes shone as he looked at the beauty in front of him. This young beauty had delicate features and a cold, elegant temperament, like a cold moon. She had a tall figure, and her long legs wrapped in blue jeans were graceful and slender, easily measuring 1.2 meters. Especially that look as if she were looking at trash, it made Xia Liu excited. It was a pity she was wearing a loose jacket, making it impossible to see the details of her figure. However, even though she didn't reveal anything, she was still countless times more beautiful than the sexy, gorgeous young woman in the hip-hugging skirt from just now. Xia Liu made up his mind that he must take this young beauty as his wife. Shameless. Sensing Xia Liu's lecherous gaze, the young beauty was furious and directly hit him with the luxury bag in her hand. However, Xia Liu quickly retreated a few steps and laughed. "Beauty, you are sick." "You." Hearing this, the young beauty Su Hongmian was simply furious. Her family background was very good, and she was the school belle. Although her father died early, her mother doted on her very much. Her classmates also did everything to please her, which had fostered a serious princess complex, and her temper was not good. As a result, this lecherous and low guy actually dared to call her sick. Su Hongmian was enraged. Xia Liu looked at Su Hongmian, whose pretty face was flushed with anger, and said with a grin, "Beauty, do you often suffer from insomnia, often have heart palpitations, and feel extremely uncomfortable on hot days?" Listening to Xia Liu's words, Su Hongmian gradually revealed a look of surprise, because he had guessed it completely right. Xia Liu triumphantly winked at Su Hongmian and said flirtatiously, "I am a divine doctor. As long as you beg me, I can treat you, and it will be solved very quickly." Su Hongmian looked at Xia Liu coldly and said, "I can have my mother take me to the best hospital for treatment. Do I need a lecherous and low guy like you to treat me?" She would not accept treatment from this guy. Just thinking about it made her feel disgusted. Xia Liu raised an eyebrow and said with a grin, "Then go ahead, I guarantee they won't be able to cure you." Su Hongmian crossed her arms and sneered, not believing Xia Liu's judgment at all. "Help someone save my husband." Just at this moment, a cry for help came from the front. A middle-aged man had collapsed on the ground, his whole body twitching, white foam coming out of the corners of his mouth, appearing to be an epileptic seizure. A middle-aged woman beside him was frantic, anxiously and helplessly seeking help from the people around. Xia Liu's eyes lit up, and he said triumphantly to Su Hongmian, "Beauty, just watch my skills." As his voice fell, Xia Liu appeared beside the middle-aged man in a few steps, crouched down, and several silver needles appeared in his hand from who knows where, piercing into the middle-aged man's body like lightning. A confident smile curled at the corners of Xia Liu's mouth. In just over 10 minutes, the middle-aged man had recovered, his complexion rosy, and he opened his eyes. The expressions of the people around looking at Xia Liu had changed. Although this guy looked lecherous and low, he had real skills. The middle-aged couple kept thanking him repeatedly. Even Su Hongmian seemed to have re-evaluated Xia Liu. Xia Liu was even more triumphant, smiling from ear to ear, shaking his head and showing his big white teeth. However, just at this moment, several police officers surrounded Xia Liu and said sternly, "Someone reported you for practicing medicine illegally without a license. Please come with us." Chapter 5, Intercepting the Opportunity. The Child of Destiny's mentality collapses. Ding, Child of Destiny, Xia Liu's mentality has collapsed, plundering plus 1999 destiny value. Ding, Child of Destiny, Xia Liu's romantic line has fluctuated, plundering plus 6,666 destiny value. As expected of the miracle doctor trope, not a single one of them has a legal medical license. Shen Anyu looked on with a faint smile, watching as Xia Liu, red-faced, tried to explain to the police, only to be taken away in disgrace in the end. Of course, this was reported by him. He had also casually given orders to find some entertainment for Xia Liu, waiting for him in the detention center. Furthermore, Shen Anyu instructed the head of the relevant department that unless Shen Anyu gave permission, Xia Liu could not be released. There wasn't enough time to stop Xia Liu from meeting Su Hongmian. But the effect was still good. It nipped the budding romance between Xia Liu and the destined heroine Su Hongmian in the bud. Xia Liu failed to show off in front of Su Hongmian and even made a fool of himself, causing his mentality to collapse. Otherwise, following the tropes of these urban power fantasy novels, it would inevitably involve Xia Liu treating Su Hongmian, during which some ambiguous and delightful events would occur. Of course, none of that happened. According to the detailed intelligence from the destined child positioning card, Shen Anyu knew that although this young Miss Su Hongmian was tsundia, she lacked paternal love and had no resistance against men who took care of her and were capable. Still not enough. As the great villain of Destiny, if I don't steal his girl now, what's the point? Shen Anyu thought for a moment and said playfully, System, use the golden perfectibility copy card to copy Xia Liu's extraordinary medical skill. Ding, congratulations host, you have perfectly acquired the child of Destiny Xia Liu's extraordinary medical skill. In an instant, Shen Anyu felt countless pieces of information surging within his mind, making his brain feel swollen. This is an unexpected surprise. Aside from the extraordinary medical skill, the Ghost Gate 13 needles, the Creation Divine needles, the Shenong 9 needles, and various medicinal herbs and prescriptions have all been copied. That makes sense. These were originally part of Xia Liu's extraordinary medical skill, whereas the extraordinary poison skill was separate. However, thinking of this, a smile appeared in Shen Enyu's eyes, and his expression was pleased. Even the Shenong 9 needles, which Xia Liu hasn't mastered yet, I have perfectly grasped. As expected of a system product, it must be a masterpiece. What made Shen Anyu pleased was that after learning the Shenong 9 needles, he could easily conquer another destined heroine, the gentle goddess Dr. Murong Jiyu. But Murong Jiyu is currently roaming the world, and her whereabouts are temporarily unknown. I'll deal with that when the time comes. For now, let's handle Su Hongmian first, and use Xia Liu's ability to win over the destined heroine, who was originally supposed to belong to him. A dashing smile appeared on Shen Enyu's face as he walked towards Su Hongmian. Su Hongmian was also holding back laughter at this moment, watching Xia Liu being taken away by the police, when she suddenly felt a shadow loom over her. It was a tall, handsome young man looking at her with a smile. Su Hongmian's pretty face flushed red, and she spoke. Why are you blocking me? Shen Anyu, who was already tall and handsome, became even more charming after obtaining the steel body. If there were a charm stat, even if it weren't full marks, it would be as high as 99. Ding, detected destined heroine Su Hongmian's favorability +10, plundering +30,000 destiny value. Shen Anyu looked at Su Hongmian with sincere eyes and said, I know a little about medicine, and I noticed that something seems off with your condition. May I take a look for you? This is my electronic medical license. Although Shen Anyu had only arrived in Magic City from the imperial capital a few days ago, given the power of the Shen family, he had deep connections in Magic City, with trusted bigwigs in the political, business, and cultural circles. To get an electronic medical license, a single phone call and a few minutes were enough. Initially, upon hearing Shen Enyu's first sentence, Su Hongmian frowned, but seeing the electronic medical license in front of her, she breathed a sigh of relief and nodded. All right then. Thank you. It must be said, appearance is very important. Compared to the lecherous and wretched-looking Xia Liu, the tall, sunny and handsome Shen Anyu was undoubtedly more trustworthy. However, Su Hongmian did not notice the flash of playfulness in Shen Enyu's eyes. He was the great villain of Destiny, after all. How will you examine me here? Su Hongmian looked at Shen Anyu with some vigilance. They were currently in a private room of a high-end restaurant, just the two of them alone. Just like this. Shen Anyu looked at Su Hongmian with a faint smile, and suddenly grabbed her slender, white hand. You! Su Hongmian was shocked, never expecting this handsome guy to be a bad person. However, immediately afterward, she felt her body, which had been feeling uncomfortable, as if it were soaking in a hot spring, feeling incredibly comfortable. Ding, detected destined heroine Su Hongmian's favorability +10, plundering +30,000 destiny value. How is this possible? Su Hongmian widened her watery eyes and looked at Shen Anyu in surprise. I know acupuncture on acupoints. I just pressed the acupoints on your arm. How is it? Do you feel better? Shen Anyu feigned sincere concern. With extraordinary medical skill combined with Grandmaster-level internal energy, it was basically enough to bring the dead back to life, and regrow flesh on bones. Even Xia Liu's medical skills at this moment were far inferior to Shen Anyu's, who had perfect replication and Grandmaster internal energy bonuses. At this moment, Shen Anyu could completely use his fingers as silver needles, with his internal energy penetrating through his body, condensing into shape, flexible at will, to perform treatment. If Xia Liu saw this, he would also be dumbfounded and unable to believe it. Shen Enyu's mind was racing, but on the surface, he maintained a look of righteousness, care, and sincerity. Looking at the sincere, caring expression on Shen Enyu's handsome face, Su Hongmian couldn't help but flush, and she said tsundeily, "It's just passable, I guess. What do I do next?" Ding, detected destined heroine Su Hongmian's favorability plus 20, plundering plus 60,000 destiny value. This hypocritical, tsundia young miss, Shen Enyu almost laughed out loud. Shen Enyu smiled warmly and said, "Lie down on the sofa facing me, and I will treat you." Having experienced the warm current just now, Su Hongmian was convinced of Shen Enyu's ability, but she still raised her little fist and threatened Shen Enyu. "Don't you dare have any bad thoughts, otherwise I'm a karate expert and I will hit you." Shen Enyu nodded with a smile. Shen Enyu's eyes darkened and he began the treatment. Ding, child of destiny, Xia Liu's mentality has exploded, plundering plus 9,999 destiny value. While Shen Enyu was treating Su Hongmian, and the temperature was gradually rising. Inside the detention center, Xia Liu was completely going crazy. Chapter 6. Xia Liu is on the verge of tears, Su Hongmian's reward. "I saved someone, I didn't do anything wrong, why are you arresting me?" He had practiced medicine in the village, alongside his grandfather, and had never needed any medical license. As it turned out, the moment he arrived in the bustling metropolis, he was arrested precisely because of this. If not for his grandfather's teachings not to lay a hand on police officers, Xia Liu would have already broken free and escaped. At this very moment, Xia Liu was handcuffed to a chair, the blinding light shining on his face, making it almost impossible for him to open his eyes. He was on the verge of tears. A while ago, his grandfather passed away and told him to come to Demon City to marry his fiancée, Qin Ningbing, which would give him someone to rely on. Today was his first day in Demon City, and he had been dazzled by the bustling metropolis, looking left and right. He had just saved someone, thinking it would make that young beauty look at him with admiration. Xia Liu had even imagined how many children they would have in the future. But the result was that he had made a fool of himself and was thrown into a detention center by the police. He was a country divine doctor, after all. According to his grandfather, shouldn't a bunch of big shots be surrounding him, fawning over him, and begging him to treat them at any cost? How did it end up like this? Xia Liu was teary-eyed. Just at this moment, a beautiful policewoman walked past outside the interrogation room. Xia Liu's eyes lit up, hoping that this policewoman would come to interrogate him. As the successor to the divine doctor's treasure book, possessing extraordinary medical skill, he was naturally well-versed in observation, listening, questioning, and pulse-taking. He could tell at a glance that this policewoman had a poor complexion and suffered from hidden injuries. He could showcase his skills when interrogating her. Not only would he be able to get out of the detention center, but he could also win the favor of this beautiful policewoman. Xia Liu calculated his plan, feeling smug inside. "Lu Yan, are you coming to interrogate this kid?" "No, I've been transferred to the major crimes unit in the central district. You guys can handle these trivial matters." "Ah, then congratulations, this has always been your wish." "Yes, I also have to thank a big shot named Shen for mentioning it to Director Zhang." A deep smile appeared on Lu Yan's capable face. Being transferred to the major crimes unit in the central district had always been her wish, rather than handling these trivial little cases. She originally thought it would take a few years to fulfill her wish, but she hadn't expected a big shot named Shen to mention it to Director Zhang, making her dream come true. Ding, detected destined heroine Lu Yan's favorability plus 30, plundered plus 90, 000 destiny value. In a private room at a high-end restaurant not far away, Shen Enyu, who was massaging and performing acupuncture on Su Hongmian, curled the corner of his lips into a smile. That big shot named Shen was naturally him. Lu Yan was also one of the country divine doctor's destined heroines. If she stayed here, she would inevitably interact with Xia Liu, and through back and forth, it was highly likely sparks would fly. Shen Anyu had directly pulled the rug out from under him by transferring her away, keeping Lu Yan away from Xia Liu. Furthermore, Shen Anyu had issued orders to plant his own guards around destined heroines like Lu Yan, Su Hongmian, and even Qin Ningbing, to protect and monitor them. As for why he didn't just kill Xia Liu, because he was currently the only child of Destiny, Shen Anyu intended to conduct various experiments. It wouldn't be fun if he killed him directly. However, he wouldn't let Xia Liu live for too long either, to prevent any mishaps. Policewoman's sister, don't go, you have hidden injuries, I can cure you. Inside the interrogation room, seeing Lu Yan about to leave, Xia Liu became anxious, as if he were about to lose something. Lu Yan glanced coldly at Xia Liu, then said to her colleague, "This kid who practices medicine illegally and harasses people looks very dishonest. You must interrogate him strictly and uphold justice. The Major Crimes Unit in the Central District is urging me to report immediately. Time is urgent." "I don't know why they are urging me so urgently. Otherwise, I could have interrogated this kid and stood my last post. I'm leaving." As her voice faded in Xia Liu's stunned gaze, the policewoman Lu Yan ran out of the interrogation room decisively. Ding, child of Destiny. Xia Liu's mentality has collapsed. Plundered +9, 999 Destiny value. Ding, destined heroine Lu Yan is disgusted by child of Destiny Xia Liu. Plundered +10, 000 Destiny value. Ding, child of Destiny. Xia Liu's emotional line has fluctuated greatly. Plundered +20, 000 Destiny value. Stay still. Watching Xia Liu screaming, a young man pressed the high-intensity light directly in front of him and asked sternly, "Xia Liu, someone reported you for illegal medical practice and harassment. Confess honestly, leniency for those who confess. We are cracking down on illicit activities strictly and severely recently. We absolutely will not allow a black sheep like you to tarnish the image of Demon City. Don't think about leaving until you confess clearly." Xia Liu was dumbfounded, on the verge of tears. At this moment, Shen Anyu in the private room of the high-end restaurant looked pleased. Ring, ring. Just at this moment, a shrill cell phone ringtone sounded. Su Hongmian gave a start, jumped up, and glared at Shen Anyu with annoyance, which had no lethality at all. "Don't speak." Su Hongmian put her finger to her lips, then answered the phone. "Mom, yes, I'll be back right away." After hanging up the phone, Su Hongmian said to Shen Anyu with a flushed face, "My mom wants me to go home. It's very late now, and she won't let me stay out overnight." Also, speaking of this, Su Hongmian looked at Shen Anyu gratefully and said, "Your medical skills are amazing. I feel much better now, no more palpitations or difficulty breathing, thank you." Ding, detected destined heroine Su Hongmian's favorability +30, plundered +90, 000 Destiny value. Shen Anyu smiled with grace. "It's nothing, wait until the next time and we will continue the treatment." Subsequently, the two exchanged contact information. Su Hongmian looked at Shen Enyu's smiling face, hummed, and said, "How much is the medical fee? I'll transfer it to you." Shen Anyu raised an eyebrow, looked at Su Hongmian with a smile that was not quite a smile, and said, "No need, you've already paid the medical fee." In total, Su Hongmian had given him tens of thousands in Destiny value. To Shen Anyu, this was worth more than hundreds of millions. Su Hongmian misunderstood. Her pretty face immediately flushed red. She glared at Shen Anyu with annoyance and said coquettishly, "If I had known you were so excessive, I wouldn't have let you treat me. HMPH, bad guy." Shen Anyu raised his eyebrows, dropped the topic, and asked, "Where is your home? I'll take you back." Chapter 7, Driving, a Head-On Collision. Su Hongmian's affection for Shen Anyu had now reached 70. This was an affection level that many couples never reached, and her trust was relatively high, so she immediately gave him her home address. It was a detached villa in the city center of the Magic City, not far away. Subsequently, Shen Anyu took Su Hongmian to a nearby parking lot, where a red limited edition Lamborghini was parked. Its body was made of full carbon fiber materials, resembling a raging red fire, with an exterior that was extremely aggressive and aesthetically pleasing. This was one of the cheaper cars in Shen Anyu's garage, worth only 30 million, but as long as Shen Anyu liked it, that was enough, and it wasn't embarrassing to drive. Su Hongmian looked at the red limited edition Lamborghini with surprise and teased Shen Anyu. "You bad guy, I didn't expect you to be quite so wealthy." However, she didn't pay too much attention to it, because her family was also wealthy. Su Hongmian's widowed mother, Su Wongqing, was the chairwoman of the Magic City Jinxiu famous tea company with a net worth of several billion. Getting in, closing the door, and stepping on the gas, it was all done in one smooth motion. Boom! Shen Enyu slammed his foot on the accelerator, and the Lamborghini roared like a dragon, sweeping across the land like a red fire. This red limited edition Lamborghini was hailed as the fastest fighter jet on the ground, and was also one of the most precious sports cars in the history of Lamborghini. In less than 10 seconds, the speed had already soared to 350. Su Hongmian sat in the passenger seat, her whole body pressed against the seat by the powerful thrust, and looking at the blurred vehicles and buildings on both sides, she began to scream crazily. "You're crazy, this is the city center." She was completely shocked. She hadn't expected Shen Enyu to be so insane. At this speed, if a car accident occurred, there would be no need for rescue. They could just be sent straight to the crematorium. Or perhaps there would be no need to even send them to the crematorium. Shen Enyu, however, was very excited at this moment. The constantly soaring speed stimulated his adrenaline, making him feel an explosive sense of pleasure. A man should drive the fastest cars, drink the best wine, and play with the most beautiful women. Only then would he live up to this life. His Grandmaster-level martial arts cultivation and top-tier driving skills allowed Shen Enyu to handle the vehicle with ease in the bustling city center, ensuring he wouldn't harm others or himself. "Are you scared?" Shen Enyu held the steering wheel with one hand, looking relaxed and at ease, watching Su Hongmian with a half-smile. Su Hongmian, this Tsundia girl, huffed, and even though her face was pale, she forced herself to say, "HMPH, I'm not scared at all, you madman." She had never imagined that she, a good girl, would have such an exciting day. Tsundia was just a facade, the real Su Hongmian was a good girl. Since she was a child, under the strict discipline of her widowed mother, Su Wongqing, Su Hongmian had to return home by 9 o'clock in the evening, and was forbidden from having a boyfriend before university. As a result now, she was being taken for a joyride in the city center by a man she had only known for half a day. This was simply crazy. He was crazy. She was crazy too. But this was exciting. It was as if Shen Enyu had awakened the wildness deep within Su Hongmian, making her extremely excited in the end. Where there is pressure, there is a rebound. Since she was a child, under the strict discipline of her widowed mother, Su Wongqing, Su Hongmian was not allowed to do anything that crossed the line, and she had always followed the rules. And now, Su Hongmian looked at Shen Enyu beside her with her beautiful eyes, and she had to admit that this was a man who was very attractive to her. He was really very different. Tall and handsome, magical medical skills, top-tier driving skills. Su Hongmian was just a 20-year-old girl, still in the ivory tower of university. At an age when her heart was just beginning to stir, encountering a man like Shen Enyu who had a strategy was truly irresistible. Ding, detected destined heroine Su Hongmian's affection +10, plunder +30,000 destiny value. Ding, detected destined heroine Su Hongmian's total affection 80, additional plunder +30,000 destiny value. Shen Enyu gave a soft exclamation. It was an unexpected surprise. He hadn't expected that when the total affection reached 80, there would be an additional reward of 30,000 destiny value. This was already a significant amount. This made Shen Enyu curious and expectant. If the total affection reached 90 or 100, how much additional destiny value would be awarded? Shen Enyu originally had some simple and crude methods, but now it seemed that slow cooking might taste better. At a speed of 350, they soon arrived at Su Hongmian's home. As for the traffic police chasing behind, they had long since been unable to keep up and had gradually dispersed, seemingly having received orders. This was one of the benefits of being a top aristocrat. A whole bunch of people would clean up after him, without even needing to be ordered. At the entrance of the Su family villa, Shen Anyu looked at Su Hongmian with a smile and said directly, "Mayan Mian, how about being my girlfriend?" With an affection level of 80, he was confident that Su Hongmian would agree. As for a girlfriend, anyway, there was no rule saying there could only be one. We've only known each other for half a day. Su Hongmian's large, clear eyes stared at Shen Anyu, quite surprised, and her pretty face gradually turned red. Obviously, her tone wasn't very firm. Half a day as a girlfriend, was there anything strange about that? He and Lin Keqing had only known each other for 10 minutes. Shen Anyu propped his hand against the wall, looking at Su Hongmian, who had involuntarily backed away and leaned against the wall, seemingly able to smell the faint scent of perfume on her, and said affectionately, "But I feel like we've known each other for a lifetime. I believe that falling in love with someone doesn't take a long time, just 1 second is enough. Do you believe in love at first sight?" "I believe." At this moment, Su Hongmian's brain had crashed. She didn't even know to push Shen Anyu away. Her heart was thumping, her chest was heaving, and she had forgotten to breathe. "Hongmian." Just at this moment, the villa gate was suddenly pulled open, and an extremely surprised, magnetic voice rang out. It was none other than Su Hongmian's widowed mother, the chairwoman of the Magic City Jinxiu famous tea company, Su Wongqing. Chapter 8: Shen Enyu's Surprise. Su Wongqing never dreamed that her obedient daughter would actually be like this, with a strange man right in front of the door. Her vision went black and she nearly fainted. However, soon after, the beautiful eyes beneath Su Wongqing's gold-rimmed glasses sharpened like blades, staring coldly at Shen Anyu and Su Hongmian. At this moment, Su Hongmian was scared silly, her mind blank at a loss for what to do, dumbfounded. She both loved and feared her mother, Su Wongqing, and like a little quail, she hid in Shen Enyu's arms, trembling. Shen Anyu, on the other hand, was extremely calm. He pulled Su Hongmian into his arms and gently patted her to comfort her. At the same time, a signature sincere smile appeared on his face as he looked at Su Wongqing and greeted her politely. "Hello, Auntie, I am Mayan Mian's boyfriend, Shen Anyu. It is a pleasure to meet you." Su Wongqing's expression softened slightly. She glared at Su Hongmian with annoyance before turning to show Shen Anyu a polite, ritualistic smile, saying, "Come in, we need to have a proper talk." After saying this, she turned and walked back into the villa. Clearly, she was giving Shen Anyu and Su Hongmian time to discuss things. "Don't be afraid, I'm here." Shen Anyu looked at Su Hongmian with a smile and whispered softly in her ear. Feeling the warmth of Shen Enyu's breath, Su Hongmian felt her pretty face flush again, and she immediately glared at him resentfully, saying, "If we don't pass this test, I'll beat you to death." As she said this, she bared her white teeth. Shen Anyu smiled meaningfully and said leisurely, "Beat me, you're welcome to try." Afterward, Shen Anyu and Su Hongmian sat on the sofa in the living room, where 3 cups of fine Longjing tea sat on the small table in front of them. Wisps of steam rose, bringing with them the refreshing aroma of tea. Su Hongmian sat properly, like a well-bred young lady, acting perfectly ladylike. Shen Anyu, however, simply picked up a cup of Longjing tea, took a light sip, and said with a smile, "Good tea." Opposite them, Su Wongqing wore a polite smile, but the beautiful eyes beneath her gold-rimmed glasses were constantly observing Shen Anyu. The way of tea is the way of a person. The quality of tea reflects the quality of a person. Someone who can remain calm and composed, enjoying tea leisurely in such a situation, is certainly no ordinary person. With a vast mind and lofty ambitions, remaining unflustered even if Mount Tai were to collapse before one, the ancients would say such a person is fit to be a great general. Su Wongqing suddenly smiled, gently and elegantly lifting her teacup to take a slow sip. Every movement blended perfectly with the tea, making her look extremely beautiful. Shen Anyu said with a smile, "Auntie, Shen Anyu has learned much from you. If I could hear your teachings often in the future, I would wake up laughing even in my dreams." Su Wonking chuckled and said, "You exaggerate. We should learn from each other. As they say, among any three people, there is surely a teacher to be found." "Yes, yes, definitely. Auntie, let's learn from each other." Afterward, Su Wonking and Shen Anyu began to converse, and she asked about some of Shen Enyu's background. Naturally, Shen Anyu did not tell the whole truth, keeping some things hidden, though he did reveal some of his family background. That $30 million red limited edition Lamborghini was proof enough. The main thing now was the conquest stage. Take it slow, and eventually everything would be settled. The reason a destined heroine is a destined heroine is that she naturally possesses the quality of remaining untainted, refusing to bow for mere material gain. Even if you threw 100 million at her, she would stubbornly refuse. But if you spent that 100 million to create various romantic gestures, then winning her over wouldn't be difficult. A destined heroine might not love money, but every moment that makes her heart flutter requires money or other capabilities to support it. Heroines in super-rich novels are an exception, but unfortunately he hadn't encountered one yet, otherwise his destiny value would skyrocket. It was only because Shen Anyu saved the Lin family that Lin Keqing had a favorability rating of over 70, but it still wasn't as high as Su Hongmian, whom he had known for half a day and already had a favorability rating of 80. Shen Anyu wanted to create a control group to see which side was more efficient. Of course, the main thing was to enjoy life. Anyway, no one was giving him tasks, why work so hard? Enjoying the villain's life, how wonderful that is. Even a mere master descending from the mountain child of destiny like Yi Yan Shen Anyu was now confident he could handle. Meanwhile, Su Wonking observed Shen Anyu, a look of satisfaction on her still charming face. She didn't really care about family background, as long as her daughter's future boyfriend treated her well. Most importantly, he shouldn't be a gigolo who just wanted to swindle money and affection. The moment just now when Shen Anyu protected Su Hongmian had earned him a lot of points in Su Wongking's heart. After some conversation, Su Wonking felt reassured. Su Wonking rolled her eyes at Su Hongmian, who was sitting upright, and said, "You really, bringing back a boyfriend without a word, you gave me quite a scare. However, you have a good eye. Enyu is a quite excellent boy. You're a college student now, you can date, but be careful. Mom isn't some old-fashioned stick in the mud." Su Hongmian let out a sigh of relief, sat happily next to Su Wonking, and acted spoiled. "Mom, I'm just glad you aren't mad at me." For some reason, she didn't explain that Shen Anyu wasn't actually her boyfriend, seemingly accepting it by default. Shen Anyu smiled, full of grace. Swish! At this moment it was past 10 o'clock at night, and outside in the darkness, a torrential rain had begun to fall. It was pitch black, and one couldn't even see their own hand in front of their face. Seeing this, Su Wonking said to Shen Anyu, "It's so dark and it's raining, it's not safe to drive. You should stay here for the night, there are plenty of rooms." There were no live-in housekeepers, just hourly workers who came regularly to clean. Su Wonking and her daughter Su Hongmian were not used to having a live-in housekeeper. Only the two of them lived there. The security in the high-end villa area was excellent. It was basically impossible for outsiders to sneak in, so they felt safe. Shen Anyu showed a dashing and sincere smile and said, "Thank you for your hospitality, Auntie." Chapter 9, Wish Granted. Late at night, Shen Anyu lay in a guest room, leisurely crossing his legs, replying to Lin Keqing's messages to build their relationship, giving instructions on how to deal with the child of destiny Xia Liu, and arranging various matters. "Tomorrow, I will go see Qin Ningbing, the first destined heroine of the country Divine Doctor, and the beautiful CEO fiancée of Xia Liu." As Shen Anyu thought about his upcoming plans, a playful look appeared in his eyes. Qin Ningbing, the beautiful CEO of Magic City Renxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company, was extremely proud, had a strong personality, and would rather break than bend. If forced, it was very likely that both sides would end up destroyed. But for Shen Anyu, he had absolute confidence in taking down Qin Ningbing. Furthermore, it wasn't the type of humble emotional appeal, but rather being even more dominant than Qin Ningbing, ultimately making her willingly submit. Because Magic City Ranxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company was currently facing a big problem. This big problem should have been solved by the Child of Destiny, the country divine Dr. Xia Liu, who would act cool and slap faces while building a relationship with his beautiful CEO fiancée, this kind of routine. But now Xia Liu, this Child of Destiny and country divine doctor, had been arranged by Shen Anyu to be locked up in a detention center, and there was no telling when he would get out. As for Qin Ningbing's big problem, it was naturally up to the kind-hearted Shen Anyu to solve it, while also helping to take care of Xia Liu's beautiful CEO fiancée. When Xia Liu finally got out of the detention center, his expression would surely be very interesting. By the way, I have quite a lot of destiny value now. I can draw for prizes. Previously, with Lin Keqing, there were over 80,000 destiny value points left. Later, from the Child of Destiny and country divine Dr. Xia Liu, the Tsundia young Miss Su Hongmian, and the beautiful police officer Lu Yan, he had obtained another 400,000 plus destiny value points. Now, he estimated he had just over 500,000 destiny value points. Let's do 100 draw. Ding, consumed 100,000 destiny value points to perform 100 draw. Shen Enyu's eyes showed anticipation, and he was quite excited. A 10 draw guarantees purple, 100 draw guarantees gold, and 1,000 draw guarantees divine. Shen Anyu didn't expect to be as lucky as before and get the divine steel body, but if he could get something useful, he would be satisfied. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have obtained a common reward, 1 Ice-Seed Imperial Green Jade Bracelet. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have obtained a common reward, 1 Top Spec Maybach. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have obtained a common reward, 1 Yo-Yo. What kind of trash is this? Shen Anyu felt unconvinced, he wanted something useful. However, at this moment, his eyes lit up as a brilliant golden light flashed past. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have obtained a golden reward, extraordinary perception skill. Haha, my wish really came true, I actually got the extraordinary perception skill. Shen Anyu smiled, with the extraordinary perception skill, it would be impossible for anyone to sneak attack him. In one word, awesome. Whoa, impressive. When Shen Anyu tested the skill's effect, he could only describe it with one word, invincible. Just as Shen Anyu was lost in thought, the system's notification sound suddenly rang out, don't forget to like, comment, subscribers, and share to AI Otaku Studio. Ding, the host has consumed 200,000 destiny value points and can now open the system panel. Shen Anyu raised an eyebrow and said, open the system panel. In an instant, a translucent light screen like a waterfall appeared in front of Shen Anyu, visible only to him. Name Shen Anyu. Age 25. Cultivation Grandmaster Early Stage. Abilities Divine Steel Body, Extraordinary Medical Skill, Extraordinary Perception, Top-Tier Musician, Top-Tier Experienced Driver. Items 93 boxes of Nutritious Happiness, 1 latest model Huawei phone, 1 Maybach, 1 Heart of the Sky ring, 1 Ice-Seed Imperial Green Jade Bracelet. Destiny Value 416,999, 1 draw costs 1,000 Destiny Value Points. Title Great Villain of Destiny. Great Villain of Destiny title. Shen Anyu looked over and immediately revealed a smile. So that's how it is. With the Great Villain of Destiny title, he could ignore the halos of the Child of Destiny and the Destined Heroine. He could kill the Child of Destiny, there were no restrictions like Protagonist Halo or Luck. There wouldn't be any moments where the Child of Destiny would come to the rescue, or other unexpected events. It seems the Destiny Plundering System has always been with me, it just wasn't activated before. Otherwise, without the Great Villain of Destiny title, Shen Anyu wouldn't have been able to take down Lin Keqing. That would have resulted in Yi Yan coming down the mountain early, and directly playing the hero to save the beauty. But now, Shen Anyu had become the victimizer of Yi Yan. How could Shen Anyu not feel satisfied by this? As for the downsides, Shen Anyu frowned slightly. Having the Great Villain of Destiny title meant that the Child of Destiny was destined to be his enemy, and driven by fate, they would fight until one of them died. Hess, if you want me dead, then I'll make you die first and take everything you have. Shen Anyu sneered. He didn't care about any child of destiny. Whoever dared to make him die, he would ensure they didn't live. Let's continue drawing. Knock, knock, knock. Just as Shen Anyu was preparing to continue drawing, a soft knocking sound suddenly rang out at the door. Shen Enyu's mouth curled into a playful expression. Little Red Riding Hood has come looking for the big bad wolf. When he opened the door, it was indeed Su Hongmian. HMPH, you bad guy, why did you tell my mom that you were my boyfriend? Su Hongmian was wearing a cute rabbit pajama, waving her fair little fists, her pink lips parted, flashing her white teeth as she came to hold him accountable. However, Shen Anyu wouldn't spoil her. You! Su Hongmian's pretty face flushed red, glaring at Shen Anyu, but there was no longer any trace of anger. She just continued to speak in a tsundere manner. HMPH, don't think that just because of this, I'll forgive you. I'm not that kind of easy girl. There are so many boys who want to pursue me. It's very difficult to be my boyfriend. Shen Anyu looked at Su Hongmian with a smile that wasn't quite a smile, and said leisurely. Then how can I get you to agree to be your boyfriend? Let me think. Su Hongmian puffed out her cheeks, and actually started thinking about it seriously. The more Shen Anyu looked at her, the cuter she seemed, and a playful look flashed in his eyes. Chapter 10, This Girl Does She Have No Shame? This girl does she have no shame? Su Wongking happened to come out to use the restroom, and saw Su Hongmian sneaking into the guest room where Shen Anyu was staying. She spat softly. However, being open-minded, she did not stop her. To avoid awkwardness for both parties, she planned to find a suitable opportunity to talk to her. Mayan Mian has already grown up tilde. Su Wongking went to the washroom and took off her gold-rimmed glasses. The eyes that were dignified during the day, now stripped of the cover of the gold-rimmed glasses. Shimmered with emotion. Her mature, charming face was flushed without any rouge, looking surprisingly fragile. If anyone from the outside world saw this scene, they would likely find it unbelievable. Su Wongking, the famous Iron Lady of the Shanghai business world and the chairwoman of Shanghai Jinxiu Tea Company, was always decisive and full of dignity. Whether it was business rivals, partners, or subordinates, they all held her in high regard. Yet now she had such a fragile side. 20 years gone in the blink of an eye. I have finally raised Mayan Mian to adulthood, and she even has a boyfriend. Brother Yuan, Sister Qing, I Su Wongking, have not let you down. I hope your spirits in heaven can rest in peace. That child Shen Anyu has a good family background, ability, and appearance. He takes care of Mayan Mian and has good character. He is a good match. However, I must talk to them about some precautions another day. Mayan Mian is still in university. She cannot get pregnant. It would be best to wait until Mayan Mian graduates from university and gets married. Suddenly thinking of something, Su Wongking furrowed her delicate brows. It is just, how should Mayan Mian's engagement be resolved? The night passed in the blink of an eye. Inside the guest room, Shen Enyu's lips curled up, seemingly reminiscing. Ding, child of destiny, Xia Liu's emotional line has fluctuated significantly. Plunder plus 100,000 destiny value. Ding, detected destined heroine Su Hongmian's favorability plus 3, plunder plus 9,000 destiny value. After favorability reaches 80, it gets harder and harder to increase. But even though I pushed my luck like that, her favorability still increased by 3. This tsundere young Miss Su Hongmian is truly interesting. Let's do a draw. Shen Anyu was in a great mood. Thinking he still had over 500,000 destiny value, he prepared to do 5 more 100 pulls. Shen Anyu no longer cared for the purple rewards from 10 pulls, unless they had special uses, like extraordinary perception skills or something. But the divine rank rewards from the 1,000 pulls cost 1,000 destiny value per pull, requiring 1 million destiny value, which was still far from enough. Upon starting the draw, Shen Anyu became even happier, double yoke. Watching the 2 brilliant golden lights flash before his eyes, Shen Anyu became excited and thrilled. In his previous life, while playing a certain large open-world game, he had never pulled a double yoke. He could even fail the pity system on a 10 pull, leading him to uninstall the game in anger and become a hater. He didn't expect to get a double yoke so quickly in this life. Ding, congratulations to the host, obtained golden reward, one extraordinary item, lucky coin. Ding, congratulations to the host, obtained golden reward, extraordinary cooking. Lucky coin, an extraordinary item. After using it within 3 days, a very lucky event will occur. With a thought from Shen Anyu, the lucky coin appeared out of thin air from the system space. It was like a brilliant star falling from the starry night sky, descending into the mortal world. It was exquisite and small, with a diameter of about 1 inch. It had a moderate thickness, smooth and rounded edges, and a delicate texture, as if it were a young girl's skin, capable of soothing the restlessness of the heart. The front of the lucky coin featured a black bird spreading its wings in flight, while the back depicted a lush tree of life, entwined with profound and mysterious runes. Shen Anyu looked at it over and over, his eyes filled with curiosity and interest. This was his first time obtaining an extraordinary item, but looking it over, he didn't find anything strange. It was, however, as exquisite as a work of art. How do I use this thing? Let me see. Shen Anyu looked at the detailed description of the system and found that he just needed to shout, use. Then I'll use it. As Shen Enyu's words fell, the lucky coin immediately shattered into specks of golden light, enveloping Shen Anyu. Oh, it's gone just like that. Shen Anyu was full of question marks, but upon careful sensing, he discovered a profound and indescribable mysterious power covering his body. Presumably, this was the effect of the lucky coin. For the next 3 days, a very lucky event would occur. Shen Anyu was also looking forward to seeing what it would be. Extraordinary cooking. Shen Enyu's gaze turned to the second golden reward of the double yoke. As the name implied, it was cooking that surpassed the human peak, an incredible culinary skill. I wonder if I can make glowing dishes. Shen Anyu was interested, but he had no intention of cooking. Who was worthy of him cooking for them, unless he was in a good mood and wanted to treat himself, to reward himself? The next 400 pulls didn't result in double yokes, but the items obtained were all very practical. Ding, congratulations to the host, obtained golden reward, 1 golden infinite ammo Gatling gun. Ding, congratulations to the host, obtained golden reward, extraordinary vocal imitation. Ding, congratulations to the host, obtained golden reward, extraordinary speech. Ding, congratulations to the host, obtained golden reward, 1 invisibility cloak. After organizing everything, Shen Anyu pushed the door open and walked out. Arriving at the living room downstairs in the villa, he immediately saw Su Wonking running on the treadmill. She was truly a female billionaire with a net worth of billions. She was truly approachable. Shen Anyu appreciatively glanced at Su Wonking's eyes, then quickly looked elsewhere. Hearing footsteps, Su Wonking turned her head and nodded at Shen Anyu with a smile. With a suave smile on his handsome face, Shen Anyu praised Su Wonking. Auntie, it's just past 6 in the morning and you're already up for a run. Such admirable self-discipline. While running, Su Wonking replied, I'm getting old. I'm not like you young people. I need to exercise and take care of myself more. Su Wonking's tone remained elegant and magnetic. Shen Anyu, however, smiled. Chapter 11, A Phone Call. Su Wonking is stunned. When Su Wonking turned back, Shen Anyu looked completely serious and praised her sincerely. Auntie, you are too modest. Even a 20-year-old girl couldn't compare to this figure. Hearing Shen Enyu's sincere praise, Su Wonking couldn't help but reveal a smile. Following this, Shen Anyu spared no compliments, praising Su Wonking to the high heavens. Su Wonking was overjoyed, and she gave Shen Anyu a reproachful glare, saying, You child, you really know how to flatter people. Is that how you tricked my Myanmar into being with you? Shen Anyu smiled without saying a word. You must be hungry too. I'll go prepare breakfast, and when it's ready, I'll call Myanmar down to eat. Su Wonking had been running for exactly an hour, and it was now 7 o'clock in the morning, so she prepared to start making breakfast. Although she had considerable wealth, she still made breakfast for Su Hongmian every day, trying her best to give Su Hongmian a home, acting as both father and mother, unless she was too busy with work. Shen Anyu didn't intend to volunteer to help either. Being too eager would only make him look lowly, and he wasn't a simp. With his status in this life, Why would he need to act like a simp? Wouldn't that be a waste of his spot in this transmigration? Bang! Just then, however, Su Wonking accidentally bumped into the corner of the table, stumbled, and was about to fall forward. Fortunately, Shen Anyu was quick-eyed and nimble-handed, and he steadied Su Wonking. Su Wonking glanced at Shen Enyu's hand, then looked at his open and sincere expression, feeling that she had overthought things, and said, "Enyu, thank you for catching me, hiss." As she spoke, Su Wonking gasped in pain. She hadn't felt it just moments ago, but now the pain surged up. Cold sweat seeped from her fair forehead and her pretty face turned pale. She was clearly in immense pain. Shen Enyu swept his gaze over. He saw that there was already a bruise on Su Wonking's fair, crystalline calf. Shen Enyu supported Su Wonking's waist and helped her onto a chair. Su Wonking thanked him, then said with some helplessness, "Mayan Mian is about to wake up. It looks like I'll have to order takeout, and Mayan Mian will probably be picky about the food again." Su Hongmian had been raised with meticulous care and was very picky about food. Shen Enyu thought for a moment and said with a smile, "Auntie, just sit and rest at ease. I'll have someone send breakfast over." Immediately, Shen Enyu walked to the balcony and made a phone call. Cook himself, unless Su Wonking and Su Hongmian both begged him, and young Master Shen was in a good mood, he might consider it. Su Wonking watched Shen Enyu walk to the balcony to order takeout and sighed lightly. Even if it were takeout from a Michelin-starred restaurant, the picky Su Hongmian wouldn't like it. Mayan Mian is so picky, this is a bit troublesome. I hope she doesn't throw a tantrum and gives her boyfriend some face. Su Wonking thought to herself. Before long, there was a ding-dong sound at the door of the Su villa. The takeout had arrived. Shen Enyu went out, took an exquisite food box, and carried it in. By this time, Su Hongmian had finished washing up, changed into a red dress that covered her knees, and was slowly walking down the stairs, holding onto the railing, her dark eyebrows furrowing from time to time. Perfect timing, let's eat breakfast. Shen Enyu smiled on his handsome face. Mayan Mian, help Enyu carry that. Su Wonking gave Su Hongmian a reproachful look. With her boyfriend at home, she should be a bit more diligent. Mayan Mian, no need, just go sit down. I'll do it. After all, it's not very convenient for you. Enyu waved his hand, signaling it wasn't necessary, and looked at Su Hongmian teasingly, his smile meaningful. Su Hongmian's pretty face flushed red, and on her exquisite and beautiful small face, there was a trace of allure that had never been there before. Soon, Shen Enyu placed the breakfast from the food box onto the dining table. Just a simple breakfast: bird's nest with shredded duck, 3 delicacy egg dumplings, scallion oil noodles, fermented rice balls, and 3 cups of freshly squeezed soy milk. Looking at the rather sumptuous breakfast, Su Wonking praised. "Enyu, this takeout place you ordered from looks good." Su Hongmian pouted. What kind of good food could takeout possibly be? "Enyu, that's not necessarily true. Auntie Mayan Mian, try it, it should suit your tastes." Immediately, Su Wonking picked up a 3 delicacy egg dumpling, parted her red lips slightly, and took a small bite. However, at this bite, Su Wonking froze, as if she had solidified. "Mom, what's wrong?" Su Hongmian looked at her mother in surprise, and then she also picked up a 3 delicacy egg dumpling and put it into her mouth. She thought to herself, could the takeout Shen Enyu ordered be so terrible that her mother couldn't even swallow it? HMPH, she knew it. What good food could takeout be? This bastard Shen Enyu only knew how to cause trouble. Thinking of what happened last night, and how her 2 jade-like legs were still aching uncontrollably, Su Hongmian shot Shen Enyu a reproachful glare. However, she still had to give him some face and offer a word or 2 of praise. HMPH, having this young miss is his good fortune. However, when her silver teeth bit into the 3 delicacy egg dumpling, the extremely fresh and fragrant soup broth swept through her mouth, as if a tsunami had erupted. Su Hongmian's entire delicate body trembled, and she exclaimed involuntarily, "How can it be this delicious?" She was simply stunned. As a wealthy young miss, Su Hongmian had tasted more delicacies than she could count. Her mother, Su Wonking, was an excellent cook. She had always been extremely picky. There were not many delicacies that satisfied her, and even fewer that she praised. But at this very moment, Su Hongmian felt that she had eaten the most delicious food in her 20 years of life. It was clearly a very ordinary three-delicacy egg dumpling, yet it was so delicious that she almost swallowed her tongue. Extremely delicious. Afterwards, as if she couldn't believe it, Su Hongmian picked up a pair of chopsticks of bird's nest with shredded duck and ate it. Feeling that ultimate taste bud enjoyment, it was actually even more delicious than the three-delicacy egg dumpling. Is this something takeout can actually have? It simply overturned Su Hongmian's imagination. Even the Michelin restaurant takeout she had spent thousands on before tasted like chewing wax in comparison. Shen Anyu's expression was very calm, as if it were all within his expectations. He ate casually and said with a smile to the pleasantly surprised Su Hongmian and Su Wonking, "If it's delicious, then eat more, as long as you like it." Su Wonking raised her eyes, looked at Shen Anyu with great surprise, and parted her red lips slightly. "Anyu, which place is this takeout from? It's actually this delicious." Su Hongmian also pricked up her ears, her beautiful eyes fixed on Anyu without blinking. She was picky, but she also loved gourmet food. This seemingly ordinary breakfast actually had such ultimate deliciousness. She must go and taste it more often in the future. Shen Anyu smiled slightly and said casually, "It was just made by my family's chef. Auntie Myanmian, if you like it, you can come visit my house in the future." Made by his own chef. Su Wonking was even more shocked upon hearing this. Such culinary skills, which even the head chefs of five-star hotels couldn't compare to, were just from a cook in Shen Enyu's home. "I wonder what your family's chef's name is?" Su Wonking asked curiously. Such culinary skills must not belong to an ordinary person. This was also Su Hongmian's curiosity. He-Yuzhen, Enyu uttered these three words. He-Yuzhen, Su Wonking chewed on these three words, lightly furrowing her dark eyebrows. She felt it sounded somewhat familiar, but she couldn't recall it. He-Yuzhen, Su Hongmian, however, widened her beautiful eyes and looked at Shen Enyu with shocked and disbelieving eyes. "Are you talking about that He-Yuzhen, the legendary special grade chef, who was the first person in history to be a joint successor of the 8 great cuisines and had served as a head chef for state banquets?" "Correct, my family's chef is indeed Ms. He-Yuzhen." Shen Enyu smiled lightly. Su Hongmian's heart was filled with indescribable shock. Su Hongmian, who had always been picky, was also a gourmet glutton who often traveled to taste various regional cuisines. He-Yuzhen was a legendary special grade chef she highly esteemed, having served as a head chef for state banquets and was famous both at home and abroad. There were TV dramas, movies, and documentaries themed around He-Yuzhen. She could be called a legend in the culinary world. It was just that later, Chef He-Yuzhen retired, and Su Hongmian had regretted for a long time that she couldn't personally taste that godlike culinary skill. And now she had tasted it, and it was well deserved. It was just that Su Hongmian found it hard to imagine that a legend like He-Yuzhen would actually serve as a chef in Shen Enyu's home. What exactly was Shen Enyu's status? Su Wonking gave Shen Enyu an even deeper look. Being able to invite a state banquet head chef to serve as a private chef, this background was truly unfathomable. This boyfriend Shen Enyu that Myanmian found must have an extremely prominent family background, but I don't know if it's good or bad. But Enyu is a pretty good kid, he shouldn't hurt Myanmian. Su Wonking thought to herself. Enyu looked at the two top-tier beauties, one older and one younger, in front of him, tasting the legendary chef's breakfast, and suddenly understood the meaning of a feast for the eyes. For the rest of the breakfast, Su Wonking and Su Hongmian ate with endless praise. Having satisfied her long-held gourmet wish, Su Hongmian's favorability increased by another 5 points, bringing her total favorability to 88, only 2 points away from 90. Ding, the child of Destiny Xia Liu's emotional line has fluctuated significantly, plundered plus 30,000 Destiny value. Shen Enyu's eyes were deep. He planned to strike while the iron was hot today and push the favorability to over 90. As for 100 favorability, that was already at the level of undying devotion, never leaving or abandoning each other even in life and death. It required time to develop. Chapter 12, Martial Arts Instruction, The Miserable Xia Liu. After finishing breakfast, Su Wonking, as the busy chairwoman of Modu Jinxu Tea, went to work. Since it was the May Day holiday, Su Hongmian did not need to attend classes at the university. However, Su Hongmian tied her hair into a single ponytail, put on a pure white karate uniform, and prepared to go to the karate dojo to train. Shen Anyu looked at Su Hongmian with appreciation in his eyes. Sensing Shen Anyu's gaze, Su Hongmian waved her fair little fist and hummed. I am very strong. Even the female instructor says that 2 or 3 ordinary adult men are no match for me. If anyone dares to bully me, I will knock them out with one punch. Shen Anyu smiled mischievously and said, Then why don't you hit me? I've bullied you quite badly. Could it be that you like me, and you like being bullied by me? Su Hongmian's pretty face flushed, and she said Sundialai. I don't like you at all. I'm only sparing you because your breakfast was delicious. Otherwise, I would definitely hit you and give you 2 panda eyes. At this point, seemingly imagining Shen Anyu with panda eyes, Su Hongmian let out a laugh like silver bells. Shen Enyu's gaze swept over Su Hongmian's 1.2-meter-long legs, a playful glint flashing in his eyes, and he suddenly said, What's the point of learning karate? It's just flowery fists and embroidered legs. Why not let me teach you some real stuff? Yangxia Kung Fu. Upon hearing this, Su Hongmian couldn't help but feel a spark of anticipation, though on the surface she just hummed and said, Then you'll have to beat me first. Shen Anyu looked at Su Hongmian with a smile that wasn't quite a smile and said, How about we make a bet? What kind of bet? Su Hongmian became curious. Shen Anyu smirked and said, If you win, I promise to do one thing for you. If I win, then you do one thing for me. How about it? Su Hongmian's little face turned red. Before yesterday, she didn't know what this handsome man in front of her was like. But last night, she found out. He was rotten to the core. Su Hongmian glared at Shen Anyu hatefully and said, Later, I'm going to beat you to death. Really, I'm definitely going to beat you to death. She ground her pearly white teeth, as if she wanted to pounce on him and throw a punch. Shen Anyu laughed out loud and teased. Wasn't that to treat your illness? You had a deficiency condition that needed treatment. Now that you're as vigorous as a wolf or a tiger and in great health, shouldn't you be grateful to me, your savior? I'm going to kill you. Su Hongmian's embarrassment and anger exploded, and she waved her fair, tender little fists, smashing them toward Shen Anyu. Meanwhile, inside the detention center, in an 8-person cell, a man looked at the sun outside the iron bars and wept silently. Grandpa, why am I so miserable? The big city is so scary. After undergoing round after round of interrogation, Xia Liu's mental state had completely collapsed. He had originally thought that with his incredible medical skills, he would surely be able to make a name for himself in a metropolis like Modu. Groups of big shots and beautiful women would surround him, fawning over him, begging him, throwing money at him, and sparing no cost to ask for his treatment. His life would have been incredibly cushy. As it turned out, on his very first day arriving in Modu, before he could even meet his fiancée Qin Ningbing, he was locked up in a detention center. Getting out seemed like a distant dream. Xia Liu was teary-eyed. He was truly teary-eyed. HMPH, I will definitely get out. I, Xia Liu, am a divine doctor. Once I get out, I'll eat and drink well, marry several beautiful wives, and live a wonderful life. These are just minor setbacks right now. No fear, no fear. Xia Liu cheered himself on, then immediately remembered Su Hongmian, whom he had met yesterday, and revealed a lecherous, vulgar smile. That long-legged beauty from yesterday was truly too beautiful. She's simply the most beautiful woman in the world. Especially that pair of long legs, tusk, simply amazing. I wonder how great it would feel to have them wrapped around my waist. I must marry her as my wife and have a few children. Right, she also has an illness, a critical condition, a deficiency condition, a defect from innate loss in the womb. Those bullshit Western doctors, let alone treat it, wouldn't even be able to diagnose it. Only I, the divine Dr. Xia Liu, can save her. If she wants to live, she has no choice but to rely on me and beg me. When that time comes, hehe. Seemingly thinking of some wonderful scene, Xia Liu was already drooling. On the other side, inside an empty, spacious room at the Su family villa. This was the room where Su Hongmian practiced dance when she was young, and later practiced karate. At this moment, Shen Anyu and Su Hongmian were right here. After some roughhousing, her embarrassment and anger having reached its peak, Su Hongmian decided to use karate to teach Shen Anyu a lesson. Give him 2 panda eyes, HMPH. Su Hongmian ground her pearly white teeth and looked at Shen Anyu with an unfriendly expression on her pretty face. Shen Anyu, however, wore a smile, his gaze sweeping over the tall, alluring Su Hongmian with her tempting legs, and he said leisurely, "Come on, I'll let you have a few moves. Otherwise, if I make a move, you won't have any room to resist. HMPH, I'm going to make you beg for mercy and give you 2 panda eyes." Thinking of how she had begged for mercy repeatedly last night, while Shen Anyu showed no pity, Su Hongmian felt another surge of anger. Su Hongmian let out a sharp cry and threw a straight right punch, fast and powerful. An ordinary adult man would likely be knocked to the ground by a single punch. However, Shen Anyu keenly noticed that Su Hongmian's punch was aimed at his shoulder, not his eyes or other vital points, as she had claimed. This girl really has a sharp tongue but a soft heart. Shen Anyu shook his head and chuckled, shifting his feet to dodge Su Hongmian's heavy punch by a hair's breadth. HMPH. Su Hongmian snorted, refusing to admit defeat, and continued to strike at Shen Anyu with heavy punches, chops and knife hands. Even in the end, getting anxious, she even resorted to a knee strike. But she still couldn't touch even a corner of Shen Anyu's clothes. Shen Anyu strolled leisurely, his feet moving casually to dodge Su Hongmian's attacks, and he teased, "You shouldn't use knee strikes randomly. It's a good thing I have skills, otherwise you'd be a widow in the future." With his current cultivation level as a martial arts grandmaster, along with various top-tier combat skills, top-tier Taejiquin, top-tier Bajiquin, top-tier Golden Goose Kingong, and so on, all obtained from lucky draws. How could Su Hongmian, who hadn't even reached the acquired early stage, possibly touch him? "All right, I've let you have dozens of moves, now it's my turn." Shen Anyu made a move casually, completely devoid of any trace of aggression, like a white crane spreading its wings, directly pulling Su Hongmian into his embrace and dismantling all her resistance. Feeling the warm, large hand gripping her slender waist, Su Hongmian's pretty face flushed red, and she wanted to struggle. "You've been fighting for so long, you must be tired. Relax." A wicked smile curled at the corners of Shen Enyu's mouth. Chapter 13, Xia Liu is terrified to the point of despair. Su Hongmian's total favorability reaches 90. Detention Center. Inside a spacious 8-person cell, occupied by only one person. At this very moment, Xia Liu was still fantasizing about Su Hongmian, his mind wandering as drool dripped from the corner of his mouth. He had even completely forgotten about the fact that he was locked up in a detention center, or that he had a beautiful CEO fiancée. He felt that his fiancée probably wasn't as good-looking as that long-legged beauty. I must marry her, have lots of children. Xia Liu's eyes were filled with anticipation, preparing to find Su Hongmian as soon as he got out of the detention center, although he didn't know Su Hongmian's name yet. As for that beautiful CEO fiancée, Qin Ningbing, whom his grandfather mentioned before passing away, if she was very pretty, he would take her too. Xia Liu's mind was filled with a future surrounded by beauties. He couldn't stop the drool. Thump, thump, thump. Just at this moment, Xia Liu heard a series of heavy footsteps and couldn't help but look up out of curiosity. At this sight, Xia Liu was shocked beyond measure. He saw a man over 2 meters tall, weighing over 300 jin, with knotted muscles and a burly frame, resembling a sumo wrestler, stepping forward one by one. With each of his steps, the ground seemed to tremble. That fierce aura made Xia Liu's expression change slightly. This sumo wrestler-like giant had at least the cultivation level of the late stage of the innate realm. He could probably kill a black bear with one punch. Xia Liu was curious. Had this person also been caught by the police and brought to the detention center? What did he do? The police officer looked at Xia Liu with disgust and said, "This person is just like you. He's also here for harassment. Since you have a large space here and are all alone, I'll find you a cellmate." Wu Gui, be honest, get in. Afterward, watching this burly giant Wu Gui enter the cell, he closed the iron door, locked it, and left. Xia Liu revealed a lecherous smile, leaned over, and said to Wu Gui, "Brother Wu Gui, you are so burly, I'm afraid girls would be crushed by you, right?" He was truly curious. What kind of woman could withstand such a strong man? Wu Gui, however, grinned, his muscles twitching, and looked at Xia Liu with a flash of mockery in his eyes. He shook his head and said, "Women? No, 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 what's fun about women?" Speaking of this, amidst Xia Liu's curious and confused gaze, Wu Gui pinched his butt and sneered. "What I like are men." Xia Liu was instantly terrified to the point of despair. Ding! Child of Destiny, Xia Liu's mentality has collapsed. Plundering plus 9,999 Destiny value. Ding! Child of Destiny, Xia Liu is terrified to the point of despair. Plundering plus 9,998 Destiny value. Ding! Child of Destiny, Xia Liu's mentality is twisted. Plundering plus 30,000 Destiny value. Listening to the system notifications, ringing incessantly in his mind, Shen Anyu almost laughed out loud. It seems the surprise prepared for Xia Liu has been delivered. A top expert at the late stage of the innate realm isn't something you just find anywhere. That Wu Gui was an elite guard of the Shen family of Yangxia. He was originally sent to protect Shen Anyu, but Shen Anyu disliked that Wu Gui had a penchant for men, so he didn't keep him by his side. This time, however, he had a great use. Shen Anyu mourned for Xia Liu in his heart, and intended to have Wu Gui increase the dosage. However, dealing with the Child of Destiny, Xia Liu, was just a side task. Enjoying life, eating, drinking, and having fun was Shen Enyu's most important goal. Looking at Su Hongmian in his arms, who was like a quail, blushing without her usual arrogant demeanor, Shen Anyu chuckled. "Mian Mian, are you a sore loser?" Su Hongmian's face was flushed, her beautiful eyes so charming they seemed to be melting. She rolled her eyes at Shen Anyu and changed the subject. "Didn't you say you would teach me Yangxia Kung Fu?" Shen Anyu smiled playfully, Su Hongmian wanting to escape the reward of the bet. "Don't even think about it. No rush, slow cooking tastes better. Come, I'll teach you Hunyuan Taiji Fist. Let's start with abdominal breathing." Following Shen Enyu's instruction, Su Hongmian was first astonished. In the end, feeling the power surging with every inhalation and exhalation. It was as if the exhaustion from just before had been swept away. This shocked Su Hongmian to the extreme. She looked at Shen Anyu in disbelief and said, "What is this? Is this really the legendary internal skill?" Shen Anyu said with a mysterious smile, "I told you, Yangxia Kung Fu is not comparable to your fancy karate. Once you have some small accomplishments, moving as light as a swallow, walking on walls, stepping on water without leaving a trace, and fighting lions and tigers will all be effortless." Su Hongmian's face was immediately filled with yearning and anticipation. She was a girl who loved these martial arts, otherwise she wouldn't have cultivated karate for over 10 years. Now, listening to Shen Enyu's teaching, she realized that everything she learned in the past was a waste. There actually was such magical internal skill, such magical Yangxia Kung Fu. However, Su Hongmian was not stupid. Having been admitted to the top-tier model university, she was very smart. She looked at Shen Anyu with moved, beautiful eyes and said softly, "Such Kung Fu must be very precious, right? Is it your family's ancestral Kung Fu? Will there be trouble if you pass it to me?" Shen Anyu smiled slightly, not clarifying Su Hongmian's misunderstanding, and teased, "Yes, it is naturally very precious, so unless it's passed to a future wife, one would have to be hunted down to the ends of the earth." "I'm not afraid of being hunted down." Su Hongmian hummed softly, her face full of arrogance. However, her beautiful eyes looking at Shen Anyu were filled with unmistakable tenderness. She thought to herself, "Shen Anyu, besides you, would I, Su Hongmian, ever accept another man? Goddess Guanyin, this believer wishes to be with the man before her for all eternity, through thick and thin, until they grow old together and never part." Ding! Detected that destined heroine Su Hongmian's favorability plus 10, plundering plus 30,000 destiny value. Ding, detected that destined heroine Su Hongmian's total favorability is 98, plundering plus 100,000 destiny value. Shen Anyu was overjoyed. He didn't expect that after the total favorability broke through 90, it would reward 100,000 destiny value. Perhaps when the total favorability reaches 100, the reward will be even more generous. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribers, and share to AI Otaku Studio. However, this was not the time to consider that. Looking at the stunning, arrogant young miss in his arms, Shen Anyu smiled slightly. One must cherish the person before them. On the other side. Detention center. I want to get out, I want to get out. Xia Liu had completely lost his mind, frantically grabbing the iron bars and screaming. Looking at the muscular giant Wu Gui behind him, who was grinning hideously, Xia Liu was completely broken. He never imagined that one day he would be harassed by a man. What was even more terrifying was that his cultivation at the early stage of the innate realm was completely suppressed by Wu Gui. As for the extraordinary poison skill he was proficient in, it could indeed deal with Wu Gui, but now in the detention center, he didn't have any of those poisonous creatures or poisons on him. They had long since been confiscated. Xia Liu was going crazy and shouted, "I want to see Qin Ningbing, I am her fiancé, let her come and save me." Chapter 14, Envy of Others. Qin Ningbing, which Qin Ningbing? The cellmate in the adjacent cell asked the shouting Xia Liu with curiosity. Originally, they had all been enjoying the show, watching how the muscular brute, who looked outrageously strong, was bullying Xia Liu. But now, listening to Xia Liu's shouting, everyone grew curious. Because they were very familiar with that name. Xia Liu said, on the verge of a breakdown. Which other Qin Ningbing could it be? Qin Ningbing, the beautiful president of Magic City Rengson Hall Pharmaceutical Company. I am betrothed to her, I am her fiancé. Get her to come and save me, get me out of here. Originally, Xia Liu had not intended to reveal this, nor did he plan to ask Qin Ningbing for help. After all, being thrown into a detention center for illegal, unlicensed medical practice and harassment was simply too shameful. Does he, Xia Liu, not care about his face? How could he let his fiancée know about such a thing? But now, looking at the grinning, muscular brute Wu Gui, Xia Liu was trembling all over, his lips twitching and his face pale. Large drops of cold sweat, the size of soybeans, seeped from his forehead. He was scared. It was still daytime. If it were night with the two of them in the same cell, the consequences were unimaginable. He had to get out. Even if it meant losing face, even if his fiancée Qin Ningbing found out, he had to get out. What, Qin Ningbing, the beautiful president of Magic City Rengson Hall Pharmaceutical Company, is your betrothed fiancée? Impossible, how could that be? Qin Ningbing is one of the 4 beauties of Magic City, controlling a multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical group. How could she be the fiancée of a lewd, lowly guy like you? What a joke, this kid must be daydreaming, talking nonsense. I think this kid has lost his mind. If I were locked up with a brute like that, I'd go crazy too. Later, the people in the surrounding cells, after their initial shock, all shook their heads in mockery and gloated. They did not believe Xia Liu's words. Qin Ningbing was one of the 4 beauties of Magic City, controlling the century-old Magic City Rengson Hall Pharmaceutical Company, which was worth over 10 billion. In terms of status, position, and beauty, she was an unattainable existence. A woman like that was a goddess among goddesses. And Xia Liu looked like a rat, had a lewd and lowly temperament, and had been thrown into a detention center for illegal, unlicensed medical practice and harassment. How could he be Qin Ningbing's fiancé? No one believed him. They only thought Xia Liu was talking nonsense and daydreaming. Xia Liu cried, he really cried. Tears streamed down his face. Qin Ningbing is really my fiancé. Su family villa. A martial arts lesson, which had lasted several hours, had finally ended. By around noon, Shen Anyu cooked again, preparing a table full of delicious dishes. Shen Anyu accompanied the quail-like Su Hongmian as they enjoyed a sweet lunch. They were affectionate, the envy of all onlookers. If the students of Modu University saw such a scene, they probably wouldn't believe it. Su Hongmian was one of the 3 school beauties of Modu University, recognized as the most aloof and difficult to pursue. Countless rich and handsome men had returned in defeat, humiliated. Some had even been chased and beaten by Su Hongmian until their faces were bruised and swollen. Yet now, Su Hongmian was acting so demure and dependent. If Xia Liu saw this scene, he would likely be weeping even more. He was suffering in the detention center, while this pair of dogs were here being all lovey-dovey and sweet. It was simply outrageous. If Xia Liu knew that the root of his current suffering was Shen Anyu, he would likely be filled with even more hatred. After their sweet lunch, Shen Anyu looked at Su Hongmian with deep affection and sincerity, and said, "Mian Mian, I still have things to handle, so I can't stay with you any longer. I'll come to see you again when I have time." Su Hongmian snorted, haughtily turning her head away as she said, "Who asked you to stay? I don't care at all." Shen Anyu smiled, kissed Su Hongmian gently on her fair forehead, then waved his hand, preparing to leave. Next time you come to see me, I will fulfill our bet and grant you one request." Just as Shen Anyu reached the door, Su Hongmian's soft, shy voice reached him. It was extremely faint. If not for Shen Enyu's profound martial arts cultivation, he likely wouldn't have heard it. Shen Anyu turned his head, looked at Su Hongmian with a playful smile, and said leisurely, "I've noted that down. Don't think about reneging on your debt when the time comes." Su Hongmian's face flushed red, her head hung low, and she didn't dare to say another word. Shen Anyu laughed heartily and stepped out the door. Su Hongmian raised her head, her beautiful eyes watching Shen Enyu's back disappear with infatuation. After a long while she withdrew her gaze, blushing as she muttered, "I won't renege on the debt." By this time, Shen Anyu had already driven that limited edition, red Lamborghini, back to his Jiangjing mansion in the Magic City. "Young lord," a middle-aged woman in her 40s, stepped forward respectfully to greet him. This was Huaying, Shen Enyu's housekeeper and a trusted aide sent by his mother, and Ji, to take care of him. Her ancestors had served the Shen family of Yangxia for generations. She was a family retainer and extremely loyal. She was also highly capable, holding several doctoral degrees from top universities, and was proficient in management, law, economics, finance, and psychology. She had once served as the CEO of a listed company under the Shen conglomerate. With housekeeper Ying there, all of Shen Enyu's matters, big and small, were managed in perfect order, making him feel very well taken care of. Of course, her appearance and figure were ordinary. At best, she had a gentle and approachable temperament. But Shen Anyu didn't care. He wasn't a dog, getting excited whenever he saw a woman. Except for top beauties, ordinary women were not his targets. And every destined heroine was a top beauty among top beauties. Under the keyboard blessings of many authors, every pore on them was radiant. They even possessed some unscientific Xuanhuan-like, eternal attributes. However, Shen Anyu still felt that life around him was a bit monotonous. As a top young master, how could he not have some graceful little maids around him? Thinking about this, Shen Enyu's eyes lit up, and he ordered Huaying. "There is a little nurse named Ryuan Lingshan at the Shanghai First People's Hospital. Huaying, recruit her to be my private nurse." She was one of the associated heroines of The Child of Destiny, the country divine Dr. Xia Liu, and also his childhood sweetheart. She had been admitted to the Magic City Medical University and was now working as a nurse at the Shanghai First People's Hospital. Shen Anyu naturally wouldn't let this opportunity pass. "Yes, young lord," Ying responded gently. Since young Lord Shen Anyu had given the order, she would complete it at any cost, no matter what. Even if it meant using underhanded methods. That was Huaying's awareness as a housekeeper. Shen Anyu nodded with satisfaction. Any order he gave, no matter how excessive, Ying would do everything in her power to achieve it. Furthermore, with the power and foundation of the Shen and families, there was almost nothing that couldn't be accomplished. Shen Anyu asked casually, "How is the matter I ordered last night coming along?" Chapter 15, Forcing the Palace, Beautiful CEO Qin Ningbing. Hearing Shen Enyu's inquiry, He Ying replied respectfully. Young Lord, as you ordered to quietly acquire shares of the Magic City Ranxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company, we have now secured 60%. When those shareholders learned it was the Shen conglomerate making the request, every one of them agreed with extreme excitement. Speaking of this, He Ying's eyes were filled with a sense of reflected glory. The Shen conglomerate was a behemoth controlling trillions in wealth. If it stomped its foot, an economic earthquake would occur. Those shareholders of the Magic City Ranxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company could be considered multimillionaires or billionaires, but in front of the Shen conglomerate, they were nothing more than ants. How could they dare not agree? Besides, the Shen conglomerate would not mistreat them. Every one of them was desperate to be a dog for the Shen conglomerate. Not to mention the terrifying 1,000-year-old clan behind the Shen conglomerate, the Shen family of Yangxia. Even though the Magic City Ranxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company was not a publicly listed company, the Shen conglomerate could manipulate it at will. A company worth tens of billions was a behemoth in the eyes of ordinary people, but in front of the Shen conglomerate, it was nothing. Why is it only 60%? Shen Anyu frowned slightly, but before He Ying could speak, he remembered. The remaining 40% is in the hands of Qin Ningbing and the second largest shareholder, Wang Hai, right? Last night, he had instructed not to disturb these two people for the time being. He Ying said respectfully, Young Lord is wise. The remaining 40% of the shares are in the hands of the major shareholder, Qin Ningbing, and the second largest shareholder, Wang Hai. Qin Ningbing holds about 30%, and Wang Hai holds the remaining 10%. This afternoon, Wang Hai will convene a shareholders' meeting to force Qin Ningbing out. Shen Anyu smiled and said, That is quite a coincidence. Wang Hai was a minor antagonist in the early stages of the book Country Divine Doctor, the boss of an investment company, and also the second largest shareholder of the Magic City Ranxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company. Qin Ningbing had pushed for the development of the ginseng nourishing heart pill, which cost hundreds of millions in capital, but the research had failed. This had dealt a heavy blow to the century-old brand, the Magic City Ranxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company, which had already been struggling in recent years under the impact of Western medicine. In reality, there were also reasons behind this involving Wang Hai dragging his feet and causing trouble. He wanted to seize control of the Magic City Ranxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company, push for it to go public, and then, after reaping a harvest from shareholders and filling his pockets, retreat. But the Magic City Ranxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company was the ancestral business of Qin Ningbing's family. How could she possibly agree? Over these years, both sides had been fighting openly and secretly. However, profit moves hearts. Under the temptation of Wang Hai's promise to take the company public, many shareholders had defected to Wang Hai's side. This left Qin Ningbing unable to hold her ground alone. Running a business properly naturally could not compare to going public to raise money and get rich quick. Furthermore, in recent years, under the impact of Western medicine, the Magic City Ranxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company had been doing poorly, and dividends had decreased. According to the original trajectory, if nothing went wrong, it would be Xia Liu who helped Qin Ningbing deal with Wang Hai, successfully developed the new drug, and won the beauty's heart. But now, it was a great opportunity for Shen Anyu. I have a perfect copy of Xia Liu's extraordinary medical skill. As for Wang Hai, he is just a clown, vulnerable to a single blow. Shen Anyu sneered. Even without the extraordinary medical skill, relying on the monstrous power and wealth of the Shen family of Yangxia, dealing with Wang Hai was no harder than crushing a grasshopper. As for supporting the Magic City Ranxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company, that was just a matter of a single sentence. Let's go and watch the show. Yes, young lord. At this very moment, in the city center of Magic City, at the headquarters building where the Magic City Ranxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company was located. The top-floor conference room. An important meeting that would determine the future fate of Qin Ningbing and the Magic City Ranxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company, and even change the circle of traditional Chinese medicine in Yangxia, was about to begin. Wang Hai was smug and high-spirited, as he looked at the many shareholders, large and small, and said, "Fellow shareholders, over these years, under Qin Ningbing's leadership, the Magic City Rengsin Hall Pharmaceutical Company has become increasingly sluggish, and dividends have become fewer and fewer. Recently, the ginseng nourishing heart pill, which we invested 500 million into, also failed in research. I propose we dismiss Qin Ningbing from the position of CEO. She must give us, the shareholders, an explanation." At the head of the table, a stunningly beautiful woman sat with a face as cold as frost. This stunning woman had a delicate face, with every feature being perfect. She was wearing an OL uniform tailored by a top Italian designer, outlining her exquisite, curvy figure, which was enough to make one's blood boil. Her pair of slender, graceful legs were wrapped in black silk, and her dreamy, beautiful feet were stepped into a pair of crystal-clear high heels. Angelic face, devilish figure, this was no exaggeration. However, at this very moment, this stunning woman was exuding an extremely cold aura. "Wang Kai, for these years, you have been secretly causing trouble and dragging your feet. Behind the failure of the new drug research, there are also traces of your interference. Do not think I don't know." Qin Ningbing looked at the high-spirited Wang Kai with cold eyes and said in a chilly voice, "Who exactly is it that disregards the interests of the shareholders, and who exactly is it that acts recklessly for their own selfish desires?" "Wang Kai, it should be you who gives me an explanation, who gives the shareholders an explanation," Wang Kai said teasingly. "CAO Qin, do you have any evidence?" Qin Ningbing was immediately silent. If she had evidence, she would have already toppled Wang Kai, but even though she had been collecting it, she could only find some traces. There was no conclusive evidence. Wang Kai was even more triumphant. He stood up directly, scanned the many shareholders with his gaze, and said, "Then let's vote by show of hands and see who has more supporters, you Qin Ningbing or me Wang Kai. Ladies first, let's start with you, CEO Qin." Saying this, there was not a hint of respect, only teasing and mockery. Qin Ningbing's heart sank. However, 1 second passed, 2 seconds passed, 3 seconds passed. Several full minutes passed. Not a single person raised their hand to support Qin Ningbing. The situation was lost. Qin Ningbing's star-like eyes gradually dimmed, and she let out a faint sigh, looking up at the ceiling, a glimmer of moisture welling up. "Haha, so in the end, I won after all." Wang Kai laughed wildly, smug to the extreme. Qin Ningbing was indeed very capable. As a girl in her 20s, after her father suddenly passed away and she had to take over unprepared, she had been able to fight openly and secretly with an old fox like him for several years. However, profit moves hearts, and in the end, he had won. Once he controlled the Magic City Rengsin Hall Pharmaceutical Company, pushed for it to go public, and harvested a large crop of retail investors, it would be no problem for him, Wang Kai, to be worth tens of billions. However, to make Qin Ningbing give up, and also to see how many shareholders supported him, Wang Kai said with a full smile, "Fellow shareholders, I, Wang Kai, swear that I will take you all public and get rich. Next, vote for me." Qin Ningbing did not look, because it was meaningless. But she would absolutely not give in. Today's battle was a total defeat. However, one day, she would take back the Magic City Rengsin Hall Pharmaceutical Company, no matter the cost. Even if it meant mutual destruction. A flash of determination crossed Qin Ningbing's beautiful eyes. However, 1 second passed, 2 seconds passed. Several full minutes passed, and there was still not a single sound. Qin Ningbing knitted her delicate eyebrows and looked over with a focused gaze. Upon looking, Qin Ningbing widened her beautiful eyes, and an expression of disbelief appeared on her stunning face. Because not a single person raised their hand to support Wang Kai. Chapter 16, Shen Anyu, the might of a top aristocrat. Wang Kai's mind went blank, stunned like a wooden chicken. Then he roared hysterically at one of his staunch allies, shareholder Liu Hesheng. "What is going on?" Liu Hesheng exchanged knowing smiles with the other shareholders, then shook his head at Wang Kai and said, "Wang Kai, none of us support you." The other shareholders also spoke up one after another. Wang Hai, don't dream, we don't support you. Haha, Wang Hai, your expression just now was quite interesting. Wang Hai sighed, don't blame us. Later, watching as the shareholders, both big and small, all rejected him, Wang Hai felt as if he had fallen from heaven into an abyss. His vision went black, he felt dizzy, and he sat directly back in his chair, trembling as he asked, "Who do you support?" These shareholders, big and small, did not support Qin Ningbing, nor did they support him, Wang Hai. Could there be a third party entering the fray? How is that possible? All these years, the Magic City Ranxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company had been a struggle between his faction and Qin Ningbing's. Liu Hesheng said 2 words respectfully. Young Master Shen. The other shareholders also said in unison. Young Master Shen. We all support Young Master Shen. Except for Young Master Shen, we acknowledge no one else. Later, these shareholders, big and small, all showed expressions of extreme respect on their faces, without the slightest bit of slack, even though Young Master Shen was not in front of them. There was even a look of fawning and flattery on their faces. Seeing this scene, Wang Hai was stunned. He had painstakingly spent so many years trying to win them over, yet not a single one of these shareholders had ever treated him like this. Who exactly was that Young Master Shen? Qin Ningbing had regained her composure, but deep shock and horror still remained in her beautiful eyes. She whispered, "Who exactly is Young Master Shen?" She wanted to know, after fighting with Wang Hai for so many years, who exactly had she lost to? Wang Hai's face was ferocious, his eyes bloodshot, and he roared, "Which Young Master Shen dares to steal my fruit? I will absolutely not let him off. I will definitely kill him." So many years of hard work, countless time and energy, and yet, at the very moment of success, he had failed. Wang Hai was angry to the extreme, hateful to the extreme. He even had the urge to kill. Liu Hesheng and the other shareholders sneered, about to mock him. Just at this moment, a loud and respectful shout suddenly came. Young Master Shen has arrived. In an instant, the top-floor conference room fell into silence. Everyone turned their heads in unison, looking towards the entrance of the conference room. At this moment, Qin Ningbing, Wang Hai, Liu Hesheng, and the others all held their breaths. Especially Liu Hesheng and the others, who stood up with a bang, their faces full of smiles, bowing deeply, not daring to look directly. Clatter. As the doors to the top-floor conference room opened, a large group of black-suited bodyguards rushed in. 10, 20, 100, 200. 200 black-suited bodyguards rushed in, each of them exuding a sharp aura, like fierce tigers. Especially the few leading them, who walked with the strides of dragons and tigers, their aura as majestic as a mountain. The 200 black-suited bodyguards quickly divided into 2 rows, bowing in unison, and said respectfully, "Young Lord, please." The 200 elite bodyguards shouted in unison, their voices almost flipping the roof. In the top-floor conference room, everyone's eardrums were buzzing. Thump, thump, thump. A burst of footsteps came. These footsteps were steady and powerful, as if nothing could shake them. Just listening to these footsteps, one could feel that immense aura. In the gaze of everyone, a young man, handsome and unparalleled like a heavenly god, stepped in. When this handsome man appeared, the many black-suited bodyguards bowed even deeper, each showing deep respect and fanaticism. And a gentle and kind middle-aged woman followed respectfully behind this handsome man. These two were naturally Shen Anyu and the housekeeper He Weiying. Shen Anyu looked at the ferocious Wang Hai with a smile that wasn't a smile, and said indifferently, "So it's you who wants to kill me?" Wang Hai broke out in a cold sweat. He wasn't stupid. With such a powerful display, this young Master Shen probably had a background that reached the heavens. He immediately softened and said, "Young Master Shen, it's a misunderstanding." However, Shen Anyu had no interest in talking to him. He waved his hand and said indifferently, "Take him down, I don't want to see him again." As the words fell, 2 black-suited bodyguards appeared behind Wang Hai like ghosts, one on the left and one on the right, grabbing his arms and forcibly taking him away. Wang Hai's scalp went numb, his eyelids jumped wildly, and he shouted in terror. "What are you doing? This is kidnapping you." At this moment, Qin Ningbing sighed softly and said, "So it is the Shen family of Yangxia." Looking at He Ying standing respectfully behind Shen Anyu, she seemed to understand everything. He Ying used to be the CEO of a listed company under the Shen conglomerate. A long time ago, when her father was still alive, he had even taken her to pay a visit. Combined with He Ying's identity, how could the clever Qin Ningbing not guess Shen Enyu's identity? The Shen of this young Master Shen was probably that most terrifying Shen in Yangxia. It was indeed as high as the heavens. A millennium family. One that had gone through the changes of dynasties and never fallen. It was hard to imagine what kind of foundation and power they had. Just the Shen conglomerate alone controlled trillions in wealth. Shen family of Yangxia. As Qin Ningbing's sigh fell, it landed in Wang Hai's ears like a thunderclap. He had actually threatened the young master of the Shen family of Yangxia just now. Wang Hai's face turned pale, his whole body trembling. He wanted to beg for mercy, but the bodyguards had already covered his mouth and nose and dragged him away. Shen Anyu waved his hand, and Liu Hesheng and the other shareholders of the Magic City Rengxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company, along with the many black-suited bodyguards and He Ying, respectfully exited the top-floor conference room. He Ying even closed the door. Qin Ningbing's pretty face changed slightly. She looked at Shen Anyu with alert eyes and said, "Young Master Shen, what is your intention? A mere Magic City Rengxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company should not be in your eyes." Although the Magic City Rengxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company was currently worth 10 billion, and if it went public, it would be tens of billions. But how could it be in the eyes of the young master of the Shen family of Yangxia? Qin Ningbing became vigilant. Clap, clap. Shen Anyu gently clapped his hands, looking at Qin Ningbing with appreciative eyes, scanning her angel face and devilish figure, and slowly said, "As expected of a beautiful CEO, both your beauty and your intellect are top tier. I came here precisely for you. Submit to me and I will give you everything you want. Otherwise, I will destroy everything you have." Shen Enyu's eyes were cold and indifferent. If in front of Su Hongmian, Shen Anyu was the best boyfriend, then in front of Qin Ningbing, Shen Anyu was overbearing. Because only in this way could he conquer this calm, rational, smart, and proud beautiful CEO. Qin Ningbing's face lost its color. Her bad premonition had indeed come true, but the 4 words, Shen family of Yangxia, made it impossible for her to breathe. Qin Ningbing could barely breathe. She parted her red lips, took a small breath, and after a long while she carefully deliberated and said, "Young Master Shen, thank you for your favor, but Ningbing already has a fiancé." Although Qin Ningbing had never been satisfied with the arranged marriage set by her late father, and even had thoughts of dissolving the engagement. But now it did not hinder her from using it as a shield. Shen Anyu laughed, but his gaze looked coldly at Qin Ningbing, as if examining prey. "No one can refuse what I want." Chapter 17, Qin Ningbing's Grace, a Heart in Turmoil. "No one can refuse what I want." Shen Enyu's overbearing and dominant voice echoed throughout the top-floor conference room. Qin Ningbing stared blankly at Shen Anyu with her beautiful eyes, and a stunning curve suddenly appeared at the corners of her exquisite lips. Driven to a dead end, she actually smiled. "Young Master Shen, Ningbing likes a man who is as tall, handsome, overbearing, and dominant as you." Qin Ningbing slowly stood up, striding out with her slender, beautiful legs wrapped in black silk. Her alluring, jade-like feet kicked off her crystal high heels, stepping onto the floor. It was as if a black Persian cat were packing. Qin Ningbing walked gracefully towards Shen Anyu, her cold, frosty aura melting away and transforming into a myriad of charms, both noble and bewitching. Outsiders would likely find it hard to believe that Qin Ningbing, hailed as the top beauty of Magic City and a billionaire female CEO who was always incredibly cold and aloof, could have such a bewitching side. Shen Anyu smiled, calmly watching the graceful, noble, and bewitching Persian cat packing toward him. 5 meters, 3 meters, 1 meter, closer, even closer. Qin Ningbing reached him, her white teeth biting her red lips. She gazed deeply into Shen Anyu's eyes for a moment before suddenly saying, "It is a pity that Ningbing's personality is also very strong and resolute. I do not like being threatened. Even if it means mutual destruction." A cold, gleaming switchblade was pressed against Shen Enyu's throat. Qin Ningbing's beautiful eyes suddenly turned icy, and she looked coldly at Shen Enyu. Shen Enyu still wore a smile, not even blinking an eye. He looked at Qin Ningbing with a half-smile and said nonchalantly, "Should I say, woman, you have successfully caught my attention." Qin Ningbing's pretty face frosted over. She looked at Shen Enyu with extremely cold eyes, ignoring the joke, and said coldly, "Young Master Shen, since you are interested in me, you should also know that my parents passed away a long time ago. And the Magic City Renxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company, which I care about most, has also been taken away by you. I have no weaknesses. And you are the young master of the Shen family of Yangxia, a noble young master of a top-tier millennium-old family. You have everything: wealth, status, power, and beauties." Shen Enyu smiled and said leisurely, "Yes, and then what?" Qin Ningbing took a deep breath, looked at Shen Enyu meaningfully, and said, "Young Master Shen, do you really not understand, or are you pretending not to understand? Ningbing is willing to perish together with you." Saying this, she applied a little more pressure with the switchblade in her fair, jade-like hand, as if intending to pierce the skin of Shen Enyu's throat. "Young Master Shen, are you really not afraid of death?" Shen Enyu found it amusing. He possessed a divine steel body. Even a supersonic missile might not be able to break his defense, so why would he be afraid of the small switchblade in Qin Ningbing's hand? Besides, with Shen Enyu's cultivation level as a martial arts grandmaster, Qin Ningbing, who barely had the strength to truss a chicken, stood no chance of attacking him. However, watching Qin Ningbing, who had been pushed to a dead end, Shen Enyu felt that she was very charming at this moment. A flower blooming on the edge of a cliff in a desperate situation possessed an even more breathtaking beauty. Then he might as well play along. Shen Enyu leaned forward and looked at Qin Ningbing with an oppressive air, saying slowly, "Qin Ningbing, I have seen countless beauties, but you still deserve to be called a noble and gorgeous peony among them. I am determined to have you." Qin Ningbing's beautiful eyes widened, and she was completely shocked. As Shen Enyu moved, the switchblade in her hand retreated repeatedly. She truly did not expect that a top-tier noble young master from a millennium-old family like Shen Enyu would risk his life for the sake of beauty. Qin Ningbing took a deep breath, her pretty face returning to its icy state, and said slowly, "Young Master Shen, with your status, position, wealth, and power, you can have any woman you want. Why do you favor Ningbing? Ningbing is a cold, uninteresting woman. My heart is only set on work and revitalizing my family business. I have no thoughts for romance." Shen Enyu smiled slightly, looked at Qin Ningbing with appreciative eyes, and said sincerely, "It doesn't matter. I can appreciate the beauty of different women, gentle, noble, soft, and bewitching. A cold, aloof female CEO busy with work is also quite interesting." "You?" Qin Ningbing was somewhat broken. She almost lost her composure, biting her red lips as she struggled to swallow her angry retort. At this moment, Qin Ningbing was in a dilemma. She understood perfectly well what kind of status, position, power, and wealth Shen Enyu possessed. The Shen conglomerate alone was an unshakable behemoth, to which even the richest person in Yangxia would have to be respectful. Not to mention the Shen family of Yangxia, a top-tier millennium-old family. Even without knowing that behind Shen Enyu was another top-tier family, the infamily of Yangxia. But this was already terrifying enough. Qin Ningbing was sharp and intelligent. She naturally knew that if she injured Shen Enyu, everything would be over. She wanted to show a stance of mutual destruction, to force Shen Enyu to back down. But now, looking at the composed Shen Enyu before her, Qin Ningbing felt an unprecedented sense of helplessness and powerlessness. What should she do now? But how proud she was. How could she be willing to be coerced and subdued by a playboy young master using his power and background? A look of determination flashed in Qin Ningbing's eyes. Suddenly, she moved the sharp switchblade from Shen Enyu's throat and pressed it against her own fair, slender, swan-like neck, even drawing a small bead of blood. Young Master Shen, Ningbing is unwilling to submit. I would rather die. Qin Ningbing held the sharp switchblade against her neck, looking at Shen Enyu with determined eyes. Young Master Shen, if you force me, you will only get Ningbing's cold corpse. A jade may be shattered, but its integrity cannot be destroyed. Shen Enyu shook his head and smiled dotingly. Baby, how can you hurt yourself? It would be such a pity for such perfect skin to have a blemish. Subsequently, in the astonished gaze of Qin Ningbing, Shen Enyu snatched the switchblade from her hand with lightning speed. Furthermore, with a casual rub, that military-grade, high-quality switchblade was crumpled into a ball. Hiss! Seeing this, Qin Ningbing gasped, dumbfounded. That was a military-grade, high-quality switchblade worth over 100,000. It was nearly sharp enough to cut iron like mud, with extremely high strength and toughness. This was something Qin Ningbing kept on her person to protect herself. Because of her excessive beauty and wealth, coupled with being an orphan of the Qin family, she didn't know how many people were eyeing her and plotting against her. Although she had female bodyguards, Qin Ningbing trusted herself more. She was a woman who lacked a sense of security. However, Qin Ningbing had not expected that in Shen Enyu's hands, this switchblade would be needed like mud. How is that possible? And that was not all. Shen Enyu casually brushed over Qin Ningbing's slender, snow-white neck, activating his extraordinary medical skill and Grandmaster-level internal energy. The vital Trukai stimulated the cell division at the site of her tiny wound. Qin Ningbing immediately felt a warm, tingling sensation, and then discovered to her astonishment. That little scratch from just a moment ago had already disappeared without a trace. Impossible this, am I hallucinating? Qin Ningbing was shocked. The Magic City Renxin Hall pharmaceutical company's main products included scar removal ointments, but compared to this, they were as different as clouds and mud. At this moment, Qin Ningbing's heart was in turmoil. Chapter 18, A Bet. The look in Qin Ningbing's eyes as she gazed at Shen Enyu had changed. Previously, in her mind, Shen Enyu was nothing more than a playboy who relied on his top-tier family background, obsessed with beauty to the point of recklessness. Although he was forceful and domineering, that forcefulness and dominance stemmed solely from his family status. On the surface, Qin Ningbing showed reverence, but in her heart, she felt nothing but disdain. Yet now, after seeing Shen Enyu show off his skills, Qin Ningbing was shocked. She felt as if the Shen Enyu before her was shrouded in a veil of mystery. Whether it was his ability to casually crush a military-grade switchblade, or the miracle of healing the slight scratch on her neck with a mere touch, it was all inconceivable. Shen Enyu, however, gently gripped Qin Ningbing's slender, snow-white neck with one hand, leaned forward, and narrowed his eyes like a lion about to pounce on its prey, saying indifferently, Qin Ningbing. Except for me, no one can hurt you, including yourself. Looking at the man's gaze, which felt like a monarch looking down upon his subjects, and hearing those domineering words, Qin Ningbing's heart was instantly thrown into chaos. Ding, detected destined heroine Qin Ningbing's favorability plus 30, plundered plus 90, 000 destiny value. Ding, child of destiny Xia Liu's main emotional line fluctuated, plundered plus 50, 000 destiny value. Shen Enyu's expression remained dignified and indifferent, but he breathed a genuine sigh of relief inwardly. As the lead destined heroine of Country Divine Doctor, carefree in the city, and a beautiful CEO fiancée, conquering Qin Ningbing's heart was truly difficult. If it were just about taking her, given that Qin Ningbing was a rational female CEO capable of weighing pros and cons, Shen Enyu could easily achieve that by using his power to coerce her. But Shen Enyu needed more than just taking her. Only by conquering her heart could he gain more destiny value. A total favorability of 80 would yield an extra 30, 000 destiny value, 90 would yield an extra 100,000, and if it reached maximum favorability, it would be even more. Qin Ningbing's personality was extremely proud and unyielding. If forced, she would rather perish than submit. From the Destiny Plundering System, Shen Anyu knew. Unlike the book Master Descends the Mountain, My Stunning Sister-in-Law, which was already finished, and whose plot he knew like the back of his hand, other novel planes merging into this main world had only just begun. Just like the book Country Divine Doctor, it only had the general setting of the male and female leads and the beginning. Everything else was missing and would evolve over time. The potential for change was too great. Even the book Master Descends the Mountain, with the fusion of other novel planes, would also undergo changes. Such is the butterfly effect. A butterfly flapping its wings in the south could stir up a storm in the north. However, Shen Anyu knew the general profile of Qin Ningbing: proud, forceful, intelligent, calm, liked to control the initiative, unyielding, and would choose to perish rather than submit when driven to a dead end. Furthermore, the man who could conquer her had to be even more forceful and outstanding, capable of protecting her and giving her a sense of security. It couldn't be a second-generation playboy who relied on his family background, as that would make her look down on him. Fortunately, there was now a good start. 30 points of favorability were proof and a harvest. What Shen Anyu hadn't expected was that Xia Liu had actually provided 50,000 destiny value. It seemed that Qin Ningbing, as the beautiful CEO fiancée and the primary destined heroine of Country Divine Doctor, carried too much weight. On the other hand, the child of destiny from Master Descends the Mountain, Yi Yan, hadn't given such a big red packet because of the primary destined heroine, Lin Keqing. Shen Anyu guessed it was likely because Yi Yan hadn't appeared yet to trigger changes in destiny and stir up trouble. This also gave Shen Anyu some ideas, namely that he could find out when Yi Yan would descend the mountain and appear through Lin Keqing. Come to think of it, Shen Anyu missed Lin Keqing, that stunning sister-in-law. As for how to completely conquer Qin Ningbing, Shen Anyu already had an idea. That was, Qin Ningbing had one serious flaw: she was a heavy gambler. This could be seen from her resolute decision to invest the majority of her liquid capital into the research and development of the ginseng-nourishing heart pill. Immediately, Shen Anyu looked at Qin Ningbing with great interest. At this moment, Qin Ningbing bit her red lips with her pearly teeth, her beautiful eyes stubborn, saying nothing. It was as if she knew she was meat on the chopping block, left to Shen Anyu's mercy. However, her beautiful eyes were filled with determination. Clearly, she hadn't given up on the idea of perishing together. Shen Anyu smiled and said, "Baby, how about we make a bet?" A ripple appeared in Qin Ningbing's determined eyes, and she looked at Shen Anyu with slight surprise. "If you win, I can let you go and, furthermore, return the Magic City Renxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company to you completely, helping you clear away all obstacles. Of course, if you lose, then everything you have, everything you are, will be mine." Qin Ningbing's gaze finally changed. She parted her red lips and said in surprise, "Is that for real?" The surprise came too unexpectedly, making her unable to believe it. Because now, in front of the unfathomable and deeply connected Shen Anyu, she had no leverage to protect herself, and she couldn't even resort to perishing together. She had already had pessimistic thoughts, thinking that at worst, she would just get bitten by a dog. After all, death would end everything. But now, Shen Anyu was actually agreeing to let her go. And he was offering such good terms, not only letting her go, but also helping her clear all obstacles and take complete control of the Magic City Renxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company. This was an enticing offer she couldn't refuse. As for losing, would her situation be any different? Unknowingly, Qin Ningbing's psychological expectations had already shifted to considering becoming Shen Anyu's woman. Shen Anyu smiled slightly and said, "Naturally it is true. As the young master of the Shen family of Yangxia, would I ever lie to you?" Of course, he would absolutely lie. Do not doubt the integrity of Shen Anyu, this schemer. It was just that there was basically no need to lie, because Shen Anyu had a 99% chance of winning. Qin Ningbing believed him, or rather, besides believing him, what else could she do? Phew, Qin Ningbing took a deep breath, her beautiful eyes looking at Shen Anyu, and a smile that could topple kingdoms bloomed on her stunning face. "Young Master Shen, Ningbing believes that you are a towering, great man who would absolutely never deceive Ningbing." Ningbing agrees to this bet. But the terms of the bet must be proposed by Ningbing. Otherwise, a bet that I'm bound to lose has no meaning. Shen Anyu looked at Qin Ningbing with a half-smile and said generously, agreed. He knew that with Qin Ningbing's intelligence and composure, she wouldn't propose any excessive terms for the bet. Because that might anger Shen Anyu, causing him to tear up the agreement, and she would be the one to suffer. This was the helplessness of the weaker party. Furthermore, Shen Anyu had already guessed what bet Qin Ningbing would propose. Sure enough, Qin Ningbing bit her red lips with her pearly teeth, deliberated for a moment, hesitated, and then said, "Young Master Shen, let's bet on the ginseng nourishing heart pill." Our Magic City Renxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company has spent 500 million over the past 3 years, and we still haven't successfully researched it. Saying this, Qin Ningbing sighed softly. This was also the reason why the second shareholder Wang Hai had caused trouble in the top-floor conference room today. Qin Ningbing continued, 3 months. With young Master Shen's ability and family background, there should be hope to successfully research the ginseng nourishing heart pill within 3 months and achieve the effect of curing heart disease. As long as it can be done, Ningbing will be young Master Shen's woman, and everything I have will be given to you. If you fail, then please, young Master Shen, abide by your promise and let Ningbing and the Magic City Renxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company go. Having said this, Qin Ningbing looked at Shen Anyu with anticipation in her beautiful eyes. Shen Anyu thought to himself, as expected, and smiled slightly, saying, "Fine, let's bet on that." On Qin Ningbing's stunningly cold face, her beautiful eyes seemed to show a mix of feigned anger and joy. Chapter 19, A Backhanded Slap, Shen Anyu Takes No Nonsense. At this moment, Qin Ningbing was overjoyed, her pretty face flushed with excitement, her beautiful eyes shimmering like water. In her view, researching and successfully creating the ginseng nourishing heart pill within 3 months was almost impossible. Shen Anyu, this top-tier noble young master of the Shen family of Yangxia, had absolutely underestimated the difficulty. Over the past 3 years, Magic City Renxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company had mobilized all its elite research personnel, spent 500 million in funds, and even invited a heavyweight medical authority of Yangxia, Divine Dr. Lu. As a result, the research still hadn't succeeded. While this was certainly due to the second shareholder Wang Hai and others holding them back, the most important factor was that the difficulty was simply too high. The ginseng nourishing heart pill was one of the classic medicinal formulas of Yangxia traditional Chinese medicine. It had the effects of nourishing the heart, calming the spirit and kai, and dispelling heart ailments. Qin Ningbing wanted to emulate artemisinin, extract the effective ingredients from the ginseng nourishing heart pill formula, refine and sublimate them, and name it the ginseng nourishing heart pill. The intended effect was to cure heart disease, or at the very least, effectively treat it. Yet it resulted in failure time after time. Even though Shen Anyu had the backing of the Shen family of Yangxia and could mobilize unimaginable resources, manpower, and material, wanting to successfully research it within 3 months was almost impossible. Qin Ningbing felt that she had already won. Shen Anyu looked at Qin Ningbing, with her beautiful eyes shimmering like water and her secretly joyful appearance, and couldn't help but find it amusing. The one who had already won was him. He had previously guessed that this ginseng nourishing heart pill was one of Qin Ningbing's heart knots, and that the bet was very likely about this. Now it was just as he expected. For Shen Anyu, who had perfectly copied Xia Liu's extraordinary medical skill, this difficulty was as trivial as child's play. The extraordinary medical skill that Shen Anyu copied, besides various miraculous acupuncture secret techniques, also included many incredible ancient medicinal formulas. Among them was the record of the secret of the ginseng nourishing heart pill. Shen Anyu was certain to win. Looking at the secretly joyful, beautiful CEO Qin Ningbing, the fiancé of the child of Destiny Xia Liu, a playful expression curled at the corner of Shen Anyu's mouth. If Xia Liu, currently in the detention center, knew that the means by which he had taken his beautiful CEO fiancé were perfectly copied from him, his expression would surely be quite spectacular. Afterwards, Qin Ningbing elegantly led Shen Anyu to the research laboratory of Magic City Renxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company and began to introduce it. Young Master Shen, these are the mice used for experiments. They all have heart disease. Unfortunately, after taking the ginseng nourishing heart pill we developed, they showed some initial improvement, but in the end, they all died suddenly. Speaking of this, looking at these sickly mice, Qin Ningbing felt somewhat helpless and regretful. Over the past 3 years, she had been obsessed with wanting to succeed, but unfortunately, she fell short time after time. Here are some of the ginseng nourishing heart pills. Afterwards, Qin Ningbing pointed to some well-preserved medicine on the table nearby, labeled as ginseng nourishing heart pill. Shen Anyu picked one up casually to examine it. His nostrils flared slightly, and then he scoffed. If these ginseng nourishing heart pills are taken long-term, it would be a miracle if they didn't kill someone, let alone cure them. What? As Shen Anyu's words fell, Qin Ningbing's expression changed, and she asked in a serious tone. How is that possible? Even if they had no effect, they shouldn't be like that, right? She did not doubt Shen Anyu's words, as there was no need for him to deceive her. However, this made Qin Ningbing feel somewhat depressed. Could it be that for the past 3 years, they had only been researching a pile of trash? This was already the 12th improved version of the ginseng nourishing heart pill. How could it still have such significant negative effects? Just then, a spirited old man walked over and said kindly to Qin Ningbing, "President Qin, you've come. Our research lately has been very fruitful. You can take a look at these documents." Qin Ningbing's beautiful eyes lit up. She took the documents and introduced him to Shen Anyu. "Young Master Shen, this is Divine Dr. Lu, whom our Magic City Ranks in Hall Pharmaceutical Company hired at a great cost. He is a medical authority. My late father had some friendship with Divine Dr. Lu, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to invite him here." Qin Ningbing was very respectful toward the virtuous and respected senior, Divine Dr. Lu. Divine Dr. Lu sighed and said with a look of shame, "President Qin, you are too kind. For 3 years the results have been few. I have failed to live up to your trust." Qin Ningbing was preparing to comfort him, as she knew the difficulty of the research. However, at that moment, a loud slap rang out. Shen Anyu sneered coldly, and with a backhanded slap, he struck Divine Dr. Lu directly across the face. Even though he had used a negligible amount of force, it still sent Divine Dr. Lu flying several meters, slamming heavily into the wall, causing the wall to shake with a boom. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribers, and share to AI Otaku Studio. Young Master Shen, this. Watching this scene, Qin Ningbing's red lips parted slightly, and she looked at Shen Anyu in astonishment and surprise. Was it just because Divine Dr. Lu had performed poorly that he was beaten directly? Moreover, Divine Dr. Lu was working for Qin Ningbing. What was the young master of the Shen family of Yangxia so angry about? Divine Dr. Lu, clutching his red and swollen face, grimaced in pain, and then said angrily to Qin Ningbing, "Qin Ningbing, I came to oversee Magic City Ranks in Hall Pharmaceutical Company, out of respect for your late father, yet you have the audacity to humiliate and beat me like this." He did not know Shen Anyu's identity, and assumed it was Qin Ningbing's doing. "Divine Dr. Lu, Qin Ningbing was just about to explain something. At this moment, Shen Anyu had already walked toward Divine Dr. Lu and stomped down. Crack. Seeing his right leg broken by the stomp, Divine Dr. Lu let out a shrill scream, sweating profusely from the pain, his clothes soaked through with sweat. The surrounding researchers also looked over in curiosity and shock. They didn't know what had happened. At this moment, Shen Anyu looked at Divine Dr. Lu with an icy gaze and said indifferently, "Old thing, do you want to explain the $8 million in your Swiss bank account?" Divine Dr. Lu's expression changed, and he instinctively denied it. "I don't know what you mean, don't try to frame me." However, Shen Anyu was merciless and stomped directly onto his other leg. A hair-raising cracking sound rang out. Divine Dr. Lu's 2 legs were now twisted out of shape, with bright red blood seeping out. Shen Anyu looked at Divine Dr. Lu with a half-smile and said leisurely, "Speak. I'll talk. At this moment, Divine Dr. Lu looked at Shen Anyu as if he were looking at a devil. That indifferent attitude, mercilessly breaking his legs and even appearing ready to kill him, made him feel that the person in front of him was definitely an unscrupulous lunatic. If he didn't talk, he would really be finished. Immediately Divine Dr. Lu, sweating profusely and pale as a sheet, said tremblingly. That money was given to me by Wang Hai to make me tamper with the ginseng nourishing heart pill. Qin Ningbing's pretty face instantly frosted over, and her gaze toward Divine Dr. Lu was terrifyingly cold. She hadn't expected that one of the people she trusted the most had actually been bought off by Wang Hai with a large sum of money. She had never mistreated Divine Dr. Lu. How heartbreaking. Divine Dr. Lu actually did such a thing. No wonder we kept failing. It's hateful. Divine Dr. Lu is unworthy of being a medical authority. Later, hearing Divine Dr. Lu's words, most of the surrounding researchers were in an uproar, condemning him one after another. A small number of researchers had flickering eyes and were sweating profusely. Shen Anyu waved his hand and said coldly, "Lock all of these people up until they rot in prison. Everything that needs to be compensated must be compensated, returned with interest." As Shen Enyu's voice fell, dozens of elite black-clad bodyguards dragged Divine Dr. Lu and the few researchers away directly. Ding, detected destined heroine Qin Ningbing favorability +20, plundered +60, 000 destiny value. Chapter 20, Qin Ningbing is shocked again and again, her delicate body trembling. Young Master Shen, thank you. Qin Ningbing closed her beautiful eyes and let out a soft sigh, looking somewhat haggard. Her mother had passed away early, and her father had also died in an accident several years ago. Having just graduated from university, Qin Ningbing took over the Magic City Ranxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company, a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. Then there was the second-largest shareholder, Wang Hai, who had colluded with a group of senior executives to oppose her, wanting to seize control and manipulate the company's listing to fleece investors. Unexpectedly, even one of the few elders she trusted, Divine Dr. Lu, had actually been bought off by Wang Hai. This made her feel very exhausted. Just at this moment, her cold little hand was grasped by a warm, large hand. Qin Ningbing was startled. She opened her eyes and saw Shen Enyu's warm and sincere smile. "Baby, I said it before, with me here no one can hurt you. I will protect you for a lifetime." Qin Ningbing stared blankly at Shen Anyu, then suddenly chuckled, covering her red lips. Her eyes filled with amusement as she actually started joking with Shen Anyu, saying, "Young Master Shen, Ningbing is not some naive and innocent little girl. You should save these sweet words and vows of eternal love for those other little girls." Ding, detected destined heroine Qin Ningbing's favorability +10, plundered +30, 000 destiny value. Shen Enyu's expression was strange. "Oh woman, thy name is duplicity." Clearly wanting it so badly in her heart, yet saying the opposite with her mouth. Qin Ningbing's pretty face flushed red under Shen Enyu's playful gaze, and she changed the subject, saying, "Young Master Shen, how do you intend to research the ginseng nourishing heart pill?" 3 months is very urgent. Shen Anyu smiled faintly and said, 3 months, I can't wait that long. 3 hours should be enough. He was going to explore her inside and out, front and back tonight. Why would he need to wait 3 months? If you give Brother Kun 3 months off, Brother Kun will be very unhappy. He couldn't fight the bloody battle yesterday, so today the surprise must be doubled. What, 3 hours is enough? When these words left Shen Enyu's lips, Qin Ningbing felt like she had misheard. She looked at Shen Anyu in bewilderment and asked, "Young Master Shen, did I hear you correctly? 3 hours?" Even if the Shen family of Yangtze is a 1,000-year-old clan with terrifying foundations, capable of assembling all the top experts, scholars, and divine doctors from home and abroad, even a plane couldn't make it in 3 hours, right? Isn't this a joke? The researchers around them pricked up their ears, but they didn't believe it in their hearts. 3 hours, what a joke, even 3 months wouldn't be enough. They had spent 3 years in the past, and even with Divine Dr. Lu sabotaging things, they knew how difficult the research and development of the ginseng nourishing heart pill was. They were all groping in a dark maze, unable to find the direction. However, because Shen Anyu had just waved his hand and dozens of bodyguards in black appeared, they knew he was a big shot and dared not speak out, keeping their heads low. They all speculated about which playboy young master had come to woo their company's famous, beautiful CEO. Using such an unreliable excuse, he would probably hit a wall again. You heard wrong, it's not 3 hours. Shen Anyu thought for a moment and said. Qin Ningbing breathed a sigh of relief and said with a laugh. I knew it, young Master Shen, you scared me. Just then, Shen Anyu suddenly said with a smile. To be precise, it takes me 3 minutes to create the ginseng nourishing heart pill. The 3 hours is the time for you all to verify it. Qin Ningbing and the surrounding researchers were speechless. They simply didn't believe it. At this very moment, in full view of everyone, Shen Anyu strolled leisurely to the medicinal herb storage. His hands moved with lightning speed, grabbing a pile of herbs without even needing a scale. A researcher in the corner, watching the herbs Shen Anyu grabbed, couldn't help but mutter in a low voice. In the 18 incompatibilities and 19 antagonisms of traditional Chinese medicine, it is clearly recorded that ginseng cannot be used with Trogopterus dung. Isn't this just messing around? Can he really get the dosages right by grabbing herbs like this? They're all mixed together. And 3 minutes, that's not even enough time to grind them. What could he possibly produce? The other researchers, though they didn't dare to speak out, were all skeptical and waited to watch the show. Qin Ningbing's beautiful eyes showed slight disappointment. Just moments ago, she had to admit that a ripple had stirred in her heart. But now, it seemed a bit unreliable. However, this also made Qin Ningbing breathe a sigh of relief. The more unreliable Shen Anyu was, the better. That meant she would be safe. No need for any inside and out business. However, the scene that followed left Qin Ningbing and all the researchers dumbfounded. They saw Shen Anyu wave his hand casually, his internal energy bursting forth. With a bang, the herbs were directly shattered into powder. Within his powerful Grandmaster internal energy, the powder was instantly heated, melted rapidly, and formed into individual pills, hovering and undulating in midair. Seeing this, Qin Ningbing's rosy mouth fell open, making one want to stuff something inside. How is this possible? She was absolutely stunned. Is this even possible? Is this scientific? The other highly educated researchers were also dumbstruck and tongue-tied, almost doubting the scientific, life, and worldviews they had held for decades. For a moment, the entire research lab was deathly silent. Everyone stared blankly at Shen Anyu, their minds completely blank. All right, 3 minutes are up. Suddenly, Shen Enyu's calm voice came. He flicked his finger, and the ginseng-nourishing heart pills, tempered by his internal energy, shot directly into the mouths of the mice suffering from heart disease. Visibly to the naked eye, the sickly mice actually perked up. It was as if they had regained vigorous vitality. Shen Enyu's leisurely voice sounded. I was in a rush, so I took a shortcut using my internal energy. Hurry up and test them. If it takes longer than 3 hours, heh, let's see who looks like an accomplice of divine Dr. Lu. Boom! When these words left Shen Enyu's lips, the numerous researchers seemed to have been ignited like engines. They roared into action and quickly began testing the mice. Everyone was sweating profusely. The miserable state of divine Dr. Lu from just a moment ago was still fresh in their minds. However, the researchers also had feverish and excited looks in their eyes. The magical scene from just before gave them great confidence. Perhaps the ginseng-nourishing heart pill could really succeed. When that time came, it would surely shock Yangtze and even the global medical community. By then, they might all be able to share in some of the glory. Finally, with the researchers working at full capacity and running various tests, the results came out 1 hour ahead of schedule. The mice with heart disease had all recovered after taking the ginseng-nourishing heart pill refined by Shen Anyu, and the effects were extremely obvious. If taken long-term, it was even very likely they would be completely cured. Qin Ningbing was dumbfounded. She stared blankly at Shen Anyu and said in a trembling voice, "It's you. Could it be that you already had the formula for the ginseng-nourishing heart pill?" Shen Anyu tilted his head, looking at Qin Ningbing with a half-smile, and said, "Yes, I thought you were bestowing a benefit upon me. Baby, now it's your turn to fulfill your promise." A bet is a bet. Qin Ningbing felt as if she had been struck by lightning. her delicate body trembling. Chapter 21, Qin Ningbing's Choice, the top national heartthrob. Why would someone like Shen Anyu, a top noble from a millennium-old family, still need to pursue women? Because killing the goose for the golden eggs is too wasteful, it squanders destiny value. When a destined heroine's total favorability reaches 80, there is an extra reward of 30,000 destiny value. When a destined heroine's total favorability reaches 90, there is an extra reward of 100,000 destiny value. If favorability reaches the maximum value, the extra bonus is likely even more astronomical. If it were a one-off deal, it would be basically impossible to reach a favorability of over 80, unless one encountered someone with very specific fetishes. In Shen Anyu's eyes, 10,000 destiny value was far more valuable than several hundred million in cash. Take the divine steel body for instance. This kind of ability is something countless top figures would give anything to obtain. If measured by money, even a mountain of gold couldn't buy a divine steel body. Then there is the extraordinary medical skill, which is only at the gold rank. 100 draw gacha costs only 100,000 destiny value, but if used well, it could earn back thousands of billions, let alone a few billion. If the country divine doctor and child of destiny, Xia Liu, hadn't been toyed with by Shen Enyu's various underhanded schemes, then with his extraordinary medical skill, he would surely be living a very comfortable and enjoyable life. Besides, isn't it more interesting this way? Shen Anyu looked at the pale-faced, trembling Qin Ningbing before him. He directly grabbed her delicate hand, interlaced their fingers, and said with a light laugh, "Baby, it's getting late." Qin Ningbing bit her red lip, her beautiful eyes looking at Shen Anyu with a complex gaze as she let out a faint sigh. Young Master Shen, it turns out that from the very beginning, Ningbing never escaped the palm of your hand. At this moment, Qin Ningbing's eyes, bright as morning stars, held a different look as she gazed at Shen Anyu, be it admiration, awe, or affection. Ding, detected destined heroine Qin Ningbing's favorability plus 10, plundered plus 30,000 destiny value. Shen Anyu smiled slightly. A strong and proud woman like this could only be conquered by showing her someone even more powerful, overbearing, intelligent, and capable. If one were a simp, they might not even get to hold hands by the grand finale, let alone do anything else. Because from the bottom of her heart, she would look down on you. "Baby, let's go to your place, how about you give me a tour?" Shen Anyu smiled meaningfully, his gaze playing over Qin Ningbing. "All right." Qin Ningbing pursed her red lips and nodded gently. She knew what this meant. However, she knew even better that she could no longer escape the palm of the man before her. After arranging the affairs of the Magic City Renxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company, Qin Ningbing and Shen Anyu left. Now, 70% of the shares in Magic City Renxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company were in Shen Enyu's hands, and 30% were in Qin Ningbing's. For Wang Hai, it was game over. He faced a future of rotting in prison and total bankruptcy. The shares of other major and minor shareholders had been bought out. Their entire Magic City Renxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company, including the beautiful CEO Qin Ningbing, was under Shen Enyu's control. Since she was his woman, Shen Anyu would naturally give her some benefits and wouldn't just use her up, though there was another kind of using up that was an exception. It was foreseeable that Shen Anyu would obtain many incredible abilities and items from the Destiny Plundering System's gacha. Among these, there would certainly be many related to medicine. It was hard to imagine how much Magic City Renxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company would expand. $1 trillion business empire might not even be the limit. When the time came, whether Qin Ningbing could keep her 30% share would depend on whether she could satisfy Shen Anyu. As for how to satisfy him, those who know, know. Shen Anyu wore a playful smile, waiting to see. At the same time, a piece of shocking news, like a massive meteorite crashing into the ocean, set off a colossal wave that startled Magic City, Yangtze, and even the whole world. The pharmaceutical circle, in particular, went completely wild. The fairly well-known Magic City Renxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company had joined the Shen conglomerate as a subsidiary. Furthermore, they publicly announced that they had developed the ginseng-nourishing heart pill, which had significant effects on curing heart disease. If Magic City Ranxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company weren't a private company, its stock would have probably hit the daily limit immediately. A drug that could cure heart disease, if its effects were truly as announced, would be worth over $100 billion. Countless ambitious people set their sights on Magic City Ranxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company, but once they learned it had joined the Shen conglomerate, they all backed down, not daring to have the slightest greed. That was the Shen conglomerate, the top conglomerate in the world today, controlling trillions in wealth and backed by the millennium-old Shen family of Yangxia. Who would be so blind as to target a subsidiary of the Shen conglomerate? And Qin Ningbing, the beautiful CEO, was dubbed the 100 billion CEO, attracting massive attention. Countless people posted on the internet, begging for a hug from the wealthy lady. Countless domestic and foreign media outlets begged to interview her about her wealth myth. With 100 billion in wealth and a face that could topple nations, Qin Ningbing was momentarily in the spotlight, with innumerable admirers and suitors. But just then, someone posted with a cold laugh. If it weren't for young Master Shen's help, Qin Ningbing wouldn't even be a 100 billion CEO. At the shareholders' meeting today, Qin Ningbing was already on her way out, sidelined by the second largest shareholder, Wang Hai. Not to mention developing the ginseng nourishing heart pill. Why her? Isn't Qin Ningbing just a useless woman who happens to be pretty? Why did she get young Master Shen's favor? I'm so jealous. Seeing this post, people asked curiously, what exactly happened? Who is young Master Shen? Later, the person replied excitedly. The young master of the Shen family of Yangxia, a top noble from a millennium-old family. He is peerlessly handsome, like a heavenly god, with extraordinary ability and a powerful aura. He's 10,000 times better than my dream man. Whether it's looks, family background, or ability, he's the top of the top, like an immortal descended to earth. You don't know, when I saw young Master Shen walking in today, my heart just melted. As long as young Master Shen asks, I'm willing to accept any position. Unfortunately, young Master Shen only had eyes for that useless woman Qin Ningbing. He even helped her clear out ambitious people like Wang Hai, and helped her take total control of Magic City Ranxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company. And did you know? Qin Ningbing led the development for 5 years, and the ginseng nourishing heart pill didn't make any progress. But as soon as young Master Shen stepped in, he handled it with ease. Arg, why does my male god value that bitch Qin Ningbing so much? Others were instantly shocked to learn there was such inside information, and quickly begged for more details. Wait a second, someone's at the door with a food delivery, I'll go get it. And then there was no then. All information regarding Shen Anyu was strictly suppressed, with not a single detail leaked. His name even became a banned term. Aside from a few brave souls who said a bit before being quickly visited by delivery men, and having their posts deleted, not much information was disclosed. However, this mystery, combined with the rumors of him being young, handsome, powerful, and from a distinguished family, drew the eyes of countless women, their eyes sparkling with interest. This was a living, breathing, overbearing heartthrob from a novel, and a top-tier one at that. Platforms like Weibo, Moments, and Zaira Hongshu were already flooded with posts. The young Master Shen's super topic check-ins exceeded 10 million overnight, and were still frantically increasing. That night, countless girls called young Master Shen their husband and smiled in their sleep. Hoping they could be like Qin Ningbing and gain young Master Shen's favor to become a 100 billion CEO. To have a sweet romance where you chase, I run, but I can't escape even with wings. The top-tier noble young master had arrived in Magic City. Chapter 22, Lin Keking's Complex Emotions, Su Wonking's Thoughts. Magic City, Lin Family. After working overtime for a day and a night, Lin Keking dragged her exhausted body back home. At the entryway, she lowered her head, kicked off her high heels, and rubbed her beautiful feet wrapped in black silk to relieve the soreness. Lin Keking sighed faintly, her watery peach blossom eyes filled with complexity. 5 years ago, the Magic City Yi family, which had been engaged to her, went bankrupt and collapsed under the fury of the Shen family of Yangxia. The head of the Yi family, driven to desperation, went mad and set fire to everything, burning it all to the ground. Even the Lin family was implicated to some extent. She acquired many bad reputations: widow-to-be, harbinger of doom, jinx. It wasn't just outsiders saying this, even her own family members did. Lin Keqing didn't want to be subjected to gossip from those so-called family members at home. Later, she took her savings and went out to start a clothing design company. With her immense talent in art and fashion sense, her company developed quite well and gained some fame in the industry. On weekdays, she slept at the company, treating it as her home. However, sometimes she would return home. But she was often met with cold sarcasm from her family. But just at this moment, a group of people rushed out from inside the room. Lin Keqing's parents, uncles and aunts, cousins, and other various relatives poured out. Lin Keqing's bright and charming face lost its color, and she thought to herself, so many people, are they going to mock me again? How uncomfortable. However, it was different from what she had imagined. Lin Keqing's mother grabbed her hand and said with a beaming smile, "Keqing, you're tired, aren't you? Hurry, come in. We've prepared your favorite dishes. Mom made them personally for you." Lin Keqing's father also said kindly, "Keqing, don't work too hard. You should take good care of your health." The other relatives were also extremely attentive and enthusiastic, completely surrounding Lin Keqing as they entered the room. Lin Keqing was stunned. What on earth was happening? Was she having a beautiful dream? Her cousin said with an expression full of envy and jealousy, "Sister Keqing, you've met young Master Shen, right? Is he as handsome and powerful as the legends say?" Lin Keqing looked surprised, but without thinking too much, she said, "Yes, handsome, very handsome. Powerful, also very powerful." Seeming to think of something, Lin Keqing twisted her waist slightly, and her charming little face flushed slightly. Immediately after, Lin Keqing took a deep breath and asked everyone, "I know what you are concerned about. Young Master Shen has promised me that he will protect the Lin family. You can rest assured, the previous turmoil is already over." However, upon hearing this, the members of the Lin family didn't seem surprised at all, as if they had known all along. Lin Keqing's mother grabbed Lin Keqing's hand and taught her earnestly, "Keqing, a man as good as young Master Shen, you must make him happy. Men, they can't keep their mouths shut and are prone to cheating. Not to mention a top-tier man like young Master Shen, who knows how many big girls and little girls will throw themselves at him. Even if he flirts outside, you have to be mentally prepared. Don't get jealous, instead be even more considerate. It's best to get pregnant early and have a child. That's the only way to truly tie a man down." Hearing these words, Lin Keqing was dumbfounded and confused. Seeing this, her cousin recounted all the rumors on the internet about young Master Shen and the Magic City Renxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company, and even offered advice. "Sister Keqing, I think you are much prettier and more feminine than that so-called beautiful CEO Qin Ningbing. Keep it up, capture young Master Shen's heart, and our Lin family will be prosperous." The people around also started giving Lin Keqing advice on how to conquer a man. Lin Keqing couldn't help but laugh and cry upon hearing these words. She shook her head and said with calm, beautiful eyes, "Between young Master Shen and me, it was just a transaction, and it has already ended. From now on, there will be no more dealings." Although her family looked at her differently because of Shen Anyu, which made her feel somewhat happy and touched, she didn't think a man like Shen Anyu would keep his gaze on her. Those 2 days and nights had already come to a perfection. She was not surprised that Shen Anyu was with Qin Ningbing. But at the thought of this, Lin Keqing's beautiful eyes held a sense of loss and resentment. However, hearing this, Lin Keqing's cousin said sourly, "Sister Keqing, stop joking. Look at these things." As she spoke, she uncovered a dozen boxes in the corner. Inside were top-tier jade, rubies, emeralds, luxury fashion items, and various other gifts, dazzling with jewelry and worth at least several $100 million. Lin Keqing widened her beautiful eyes and said in surprise, "Did young Master Shen send this?" Lin Keqing's cousin nodded with envy and jealousy. "That wasn't all." Lin Keqing's father said with a beaming smile, "Also, I will announce here that you, Keqing, will take charge as the head of the Lin family. Control of the Lin family group is completely transferred to your hands. This was also at the instruction of young Master Shen. But all of us in the Lin family raise our hands in approval. We believe that under your leadership, King, the Lin family group will soar. King, young Master Shen is truly too good to you. You must go and thank him personally later. With the precedent of the Magic City Ranks in Hall Pharmaceutical Company soaring right before their eyes, how could the Lin family not be envious? Lin Keking bit her lip, her heart complex, and her beautiful eyes welled up with tears. Ding, detected destined heroine Lin Keking's favorability +6, plundered +18, 000 destiny value. Ding, detected destined heroine Lin Keking's total favorability 82, plundered +30, 000 destiny value. Jinxu famous T. Chairwoman Su Wonking listened to her female secretary's excited chatter, smiled, shook her head, and said, "The Shen family of Yangxia, a 1,000-year-old aristocratic family, top-tier nobility, peerless and handsome, truly worthy of being called the national male god. No wonder you young girls are so fond of him. However, I am older now, and I see things more clearly. A man like that is surrounded by countless beauties, he may not be a good match." The female secretary smiled and complimented, "Chairwoman, which young girl can compare to you?" Looking at Su Wonking's mature, beautiful and exquisite face, and her skin as smooth as a peeled boiled egg, the secretary in her early 20s was extremely envious. Ring ring. Just at this moment, Su Wonking's phone rang. Seeing it was from her daughter, Su Hongmian, she answered the call, and the female secretary tactfully exited the chairwoman's office and closed the door. "Mian Mian, are you also calling to tell me about that young Master Shen? Enyu is a good kid, don't let him down." Su Wonking joked. As for Enyu, she didn't associate him with the name of young Master Shen. After all, the rumored young Master Shen was extremely strong and overbearing, while Shen Anyu was gentle, elegant, and approachable. "HMPH, I don't care about any young Master Shen." On the other end of the phone came Su Hongmian's haughty voice. Then Su Hongmian told her about Shen Anyu teaching her Yangxia Kung Fu. Su Wonking's expression changed. It took a long while before she recovered under the concerned questioning of Su Hongmian on the other end of the line, and she said, "Enyu is sincere to you, and this kind of true martial arts is very precious. You should treat him better, don't be spoiled." "All right, I have things to do, I'm hanging up." After hanging up the phone, Su Wonking's expression was somewhat heavy. True martial arts, could it be that Shen Enyu is also a person from that world? I don't know if it's good or bad for Mian Mian to be with him. Seeming to recall something, a flash of fear appeared in Su Wonking's usually calm and elegant beautiful eyes. The commotion caused by young Master Shen made the whole internet boil, and even the detention center was stirred up. Chapter 23, for Elise, Qin Ningbing smiled. Detention center. Several female staff members were chattering excitedly while patrolling. "I'm so envious of Qin Ningbing, being favored by young Master Shen, and instantly transforming into a billionaire female CEO. Yeah, what girl wouldn't be envious? If the rumors are true, young Master Shen is so good, distinguished family, unparalleled handsomeness, and he's fiercely protective of his wife. He's simply my dream man. It's a pity that Magic City Ranks in Hall Pharmaceutical Company isn't public. Otherwise, if we bought its stock, we'd be rich." He, Kian, you're still only interested in money. That goes without saying. I'm not pretty, so young Master Shen wouldn't be interested in me. Hearing this, Xia Liu, who had been huddled in the corner, suddenly became agitated. He grabbed the iron bars and shouted, "What did you say?" Qin Ningbing, the female CEO of Magic City Ranks in Hall Pharmaceutical Company, is with some young Master Shen. Hearing this, a female staff member cast a look of disgust at the sleazy Xia Liu and said, "Yeah, so what? Behave yourself. You're here for practicing medicine without a license and harassment, so you'll be staying a while longer." Upon hearing this, Xia Liu felt as if struck by lightning. His face turned pale, and he said tremblingly, "No, that can't be. Qin Ningbing is my fiancé. It can't be, it can't be. I want to get out, I want to get out." Boom! The innate early-stage internal Kai within Xia Liu erupted. He actually tried to forcibly pry open the iron bars to escape. However, just at this moment, a huge shadow loomed over him. The muscular brute Wu Gui grabbed Xia Liu directly and sneered. "Little brother, you need to obey the law. What's the matter? You want to break out of prison?" Xia Liu couldn't break free, his face turning grain. That was his stunningly beautiful CEO fiancée, whom he had been pinning for years. Could it be that before they had even met, he was already wearing a bright green hat? Xia Liu cried. He regretted it. If he had known it would come to this, he shouldn't have practiced medicine without a license, shouldn't have harassed that young woman in the tight skirt, and shouldn't have flirted with that long-legged beauty. Otherwise, he would have already met his beautiful CEO fiancée, Qin Ningbing, and wouldn't have ended up in the detention center, forced to watch all this happen without being able to stop it. Unfortunately, it was already too late. Shen Anyu had given Xia Liu a solid, forceful lesson on the law, perhaps more than one. Ding, child of destiny, Xia Liu's mentality has collapsed. Plunder plus 9,999 destiny value. Ding, child of destiny, Xia Liu's mentality has completely shattered. Plunder plus 66,666 destiny value. Ding, child of destiny, Xia Liu's main romantic plot has experienced a massive fluctuation. Plunder plus 100,000 destiny value. Good heavens, Xia Liu really is my treasure trove boy. These rewards are so generous. Shen Anyu laughed so hard he almost couldn't keep a straight face. They hadn't even officially met yet, and Xia Liu had already given him so much destiny value. Shen Anyu was so happy he didn't even want to let Xia Liu out of the detention center. After all, when the time came, Xia Liu's anger would be off the charts, and he would come to cause trouble for Shen Anyu. Should Shen Anyu kill him or kill him? Depends on my mood. I'll decide then. Let's keep him locked up for a while longer. Now is not the time for idle thoughts. Shen Anyu looked at the beautiful female CAO in front of him with appreciation. At this moment, Qin Ningbing had already brought Shen Anyu to her home. The simple and elegant white decor style wasn't very luxurious, appearing somewhat cold and empty. However, a custom-made Schimmel crystal piano in the living room appeared quite magnificent and exquisite. Seeing Shen Anyu looking at this Schimmel crystal piano, a look of nostalgia and sadness appeared in Qin Ningbing's beautiful eyes. My mother was a musician, and I learned to play the piano for a long time when I was a child. This Schimmel crystal piano was a token of love my father spent over $3 million to have custom made for her. My mother loved it very much and once said it would be left for me and my future son-in-law. Unfortunately, later, my mother passed away from illness, and I haven't touched the piano since. I was afraid my father would feel sad hearing the piano music. It's just that a few years ago, my father also passed away unexpectedly. I had just graduated from college and had to shoulder the responsibility of the company, dealing with schemes and intrigues all day, busy beyond measure. Forget it, let's not talk about that. Qin Ningbing shook her head, feeling listless and not wanting to mention it again. Even for a strong, calm and intelligent woman, had she not once yearned for love? Unfortunately, it was not meant to be in this lifetime. However, Shen Anyu did not do as Qin Ningbing expected. Instead, he walked slowly toward the Schimmel crystal piano. Under Qin Ningbing's puzzled gaze, Shen Anyu sat slowly in front of the piano and opened the keyboard cover of the Schimmel crystal piano. The next moment, a joyful melody, a slow tune, and lingering notes leaped out from the interlaced black and white keys of the piano. It was like an elf of love appearing in the world, bringing endless, gentle affection. It also felt like lovers whispering softly and smiling at each other. Qin Ningbing couldn't help but lower her head and close her beautiful eyes, savoring the joyful, beautiful, and loving piano melody, feeling the purity and beauty of love. Her tired heart was unknowingly washed and purified. It had been a very, very long time since she had felt this relaxed. The sadness of her parents leaving her one after the other, having to shoulder the family business right after graduating from college, having to engage in schemes and intrigues with people like Wang Hai, the deceit and treachery in the business world, how much helplessness, how much anxiety, how many times she had cried secretly under her covers in the middle of the night. In the eyes of countless people, the beautiful CEO was envied and jealous, but in reality, her heart was extremely tired. In this beautiful, moving, and familiar piano melody, she seemed to be intoxicated. It wasn't until the piano music ended that Qin Ningbing slowly opened her beautiful eyes, which seemed to glisten with tears, and looked at the man in front of her. Is that Beethoven's Für Elise? Shen Anyu smiled slightly and said softly, Yes, it is this world-famous classic piano piece. Qin Ningbing tilted her head, a strange smile appearing on her stunningly beautiful and cold face as she looked at Shen Anyu and said, You investigated. This is my mother's favorite piano piece. It was also my parents' token of love. Shen Anyu smiled and said without reservation, Yes, I investigated. Qin Ningbing kicked off her high heels, stepped on the floor and walked over. Looking at Shen Anyu, who was close at hand, she parted her red lips slightly, her breath like orchids. How long have you been practicing? Shen Anyu held up a finger. A month? No, I spent 1 minute looking at the sheet music. Shen Anyu said with a smile. Possessing top-tier musical skills at the mortal peak level, spending 1 minute scanning the sheet music was already enough to reach the pinnacle. Qin Ningbing suddenly smiled. The man in front of her indeed had a charm that made her heart flutter. A handsome face, unimaginable talent, incredible medical skills and martial arts. Everything about him was so outstanding. Since that was the case, why not, right? Chapter 24, Shen Enyu's Delight, Great Fortune. Ding, detected destined heroine Qin Ningbing favorability plus 26, plundered plus 78, 000 destiny value. Ding, detected destined heroine Qin Ningbing total favorability 86, plundered plus 30, 000 destiny value. Shen Anyu leaned against his pillow, looking at these rewards with a pleased smile. It was now the morning of the third day. 670,000 destiny value, tusk, when has my Shen Anyu ever been this wealthy? If you asked how happy Shen Anyu was, it was simply indescribable happiness. Unfortunately, his treasure trove girl was a workaholic and had already gone to work. Qin Ningbing had taken a day off yesterday, which was the first time in 5 years. She used to be at the company even on New Year's Eve. But she couldn't help but take the day off. Even with Shen Enyu's extraordinary medical skill and Grandmaster internal energy treatment, she couldn't handle it. Shen Anyu was in a great mood and sent a message over. Baby, are you okay? Do you want me to come to the company and treat you some more? The reply came in seconds. No need, really no need. By the way, I have to handle the production and sales of the ginseng nourishing heart pill, so I'll be busy for a while. You don't need to come find me. Inside the president's office at the Magic City Renksin Hall Pharmaceutical Company. Qin Ningbing's face had lost its color, and her slender, jade-like fingers typed hurriedly. All right then. I'll come find you in a few days. I'll play the piano for you then. Okay. Watching the hesitation in the reply from the other side, Shen Anyu shook his head. He wasn't some kind of devil, was he? Draw. With nothing else to do and now having over 670,000 destiny value, Shen Anyu started drawing again. As for the million destiny value 10 draw, the divine rank reward pity system, he would worry about that once another child of destiny appeared or he became wealthier. The first wave of 100 draws. Ding, congratulations host, obtained gold reward, extraordinary music skill. Shen Anyu was amused, saying with a half smile. It came late but not too late. Just at this moment, the mechanical prompt of the Destiny Plundering System sounded. Ding, congratulations host, accumulated 30 innate cultivations, would you like to synthesize them for free into 3 Grandmaster level martial arts cultivations? Synthesize. Shen Anyu had drawn rewards so many times, and among them were quite a few innate cultivations, enough to synthesize into 3 Grandmaster level martial arts cultivations. 3 Grandmaster level martial arts cultivations, how much of a breakthrough can this provide? Shen Anyu was curious and fused them directly. Boom, booms, boom. In an instant, it felt as if tiger roars and thunder echoed, exploding inside Shen Enyu's body, and a majestic aura swept out in all directions. After being tormented for a day and 2 nights, the bed finally couldn't take it anymore and collapsed with a crash. Who? Shen Anyu opened his mouth and let out a long, relieved breath. A stream of air, like a white silk ribbon, extended more than 10 meters in front of him before slowly dissipating. Reached the Grandmaster late stage. Shen Anyu clenched his fist casually, feeling the surging power. He had become much stronger again. Next, the second wave of 100 draws, the gold reward obtained, was the extraordinary lightning ability. Shen Enyu's mind stirred, and at his fingertips, crackling, a wisp of jumping purple lightning appeared. He flicked it casually outside the window, instantly splitting a tree that required several people to embrace into charred wood. The power is decent, comparable to a high-explosive grenade. Combined with my martial arts Grandmaster cultivation strength, it can exert an effect where 1 + 1 is greater than 2. Shen Anyu pondered. Although once reaching the martial arts Grandmaster cultivation, internal energy could leave the body and be projected. Innate experts could already achieve feats like using flying flowers and leaves to hurt people. However, when internal energy leaves the body, its power naturally decreases significantly, and it is stronger when attached to fists and feet. With this lightning ability, Shen Enyu's long-range attack capability was even stronger. Speaking of which, how many people could kill their way through my guards and bodyguard circle? Shen Anyu sneered. He had dozens of female innate guards protecting him, and the leader among them was even a martial arts grandmaster. Furthermore, he could have as many black-clad bodyguards with acquired strength as he wanted, thousands or even tens of thousands. If Shen Anyu truly gave the word, the Shen family of Yangxia and the An family of Yangxia could mobilize their foundations, and an army of 100,000 would be no problem. They could wipe out some small countries. This was the power and influence of top-tier aristocracy. How many people could kill their way through Shen Enyu's circle of black-clad bodyguards and female guards? I am actually looking forward to it, when those children of destiny exhaust all their strength to reach me, only to discover that I am the most terrifying big boss. That scene must be very interesting. Shen Anyu touched his chin, a playful glint appearing in his eyes. With his current divine steel body, Grandmaster late-stage martial arts cultivation, extraordinary lightning ability, and various skills, an ordinary great Grandmaster would undoubtedly be defeated. Even a heaven-level expert, while Shen Anyu couldn't kill them yet, the opponent couldn't break through his divine steel body's defense either. Even martial arts true essence internal energy, or striking across the mountain techniques, would be useless. Because the divine steel body didn't just strengthen the skin, even the internal organs were reinforced. Next, 4 waves of 100 draws. Ding, congratulations host, obtained gold reward, extraordinary item, 1 Azure Rainbow Sword. Ding, congratulations host, obtained gold reward, extraordinary item, 1 Heaven Sword. Ding, congratulations host, obtained gold reward, extraordinary yoga skill. Ding, congratulations host, obtained gold reward, extraordinary item, 1 Son of Destiny Identifier. Son of Destiny Identifier. Shen Enyu's spirits lifted, and a look of joy appeared on his face. This Son of Destiny Identifier was exactly what he needed most right now, as it meant he could find children of destiny. There were only 2 children of destiny currently. One was the expert coming down from the mountain, Yi Yan. He didn't know when he would come down, probably in a month or 2, but he didn't know the details. Which mountain was he on? That damn author hadn't written it, so Shen Anyu didn't know. Shen Anyu did have an idea to find out the situation through Lin Keking. If destiny value from plundering Yi Yan appeared, it would mean he had already come down the mountain and stepped into the flow of fate. The second child of destiny, the country divine Dr. Xia Liu, was currently still in the detention center, secretly trying to break out of prison, but was righteously suppressed by his cellmate, the muscular man Wu Gui. Breaking out of prison was an illegal act and strictly prohibited. Shen Anyu didn't have a destined child positioning card right now, so he couldn't find a third child of destiny at all. Through the system's introduction, Shen Anyu understood this Son of Destiny identifier. Its main function, as the name implied, was that by consuming 10,000 destiny value, one could identify a child of destiny through the Son of Destiny identifier. Although it was a bit expensive, this identifier was not a one-time consumable like the destined child positioning card. It could be used repeatedly. This made Shen Anyu quite happy, and he pondered for a moment before ordering his subordinates to look for people who were clearly abnormal. For example, those who suddenly became rich, those who suddenly became famous, those with powerful strength and many stories. Although the Son of Destiny identifier could be used repeatedly, every use cost 10,000 destiny value, which made Shen Anyu feel poor and tearful. Well, having this identifier can be considered great fortune. Time to go find Su Hongmian. A smile curled on the corner of Shen Enyu's mouth as he prepared to go find Su Hongmian to celebrate. Chapter 25, You Sneaky Bastard, Double the Year-End Bonus. By the way, I still have over 70,000 destiny value. I'll keep 30,000 for identification fees and use the rest for a temple. Before leaving, Shen Anyu thought for a moment and decided to do another round of gacha. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have obtained a purple grade reward, Innate Cultivation. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have obtained a purple grade reward, Innate Cultivation. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have obtained a top-tier bartending skill. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have obtained a top-tier dancing skill. Trash system ruining my youth. Shen Anyu couldn't hold it in anymore. Thinking about the remaining 31,000 plus destiny value, he said. Single pulls create miracles, system, give me something good. In an instant, a mysterious, profound divine light flashed before Shen Enyu's eyes. Shen Anyu was moved. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have obtained a divine rank reward, storage ring. System, no system, you've really grown up, kudos to you. Shen Anyu praised it greatly. The storage ring, an essential item for killing, looting and traveling, was finally in his hands. With a thought from Shen Anyu, an archaic and profound white jade ring appeared on his hand. With his Grandmaster cultivation, he could already preliminarily use his mental energy to probe into it. It was a three-dimensional space with a radius of 100 zhang. It could not store living creatures, and it seemed as if time did not flow within it. When the time comes, I'll get a batch of weapons and stuff them into this storage ring. Better safe than sorry. Shen Anyu narrowed his eyes and said leisurely. Oh right, and some uniforms, stockings, get some of those too. Let me check the system interface. As Shen Anyu finished speaking, a waterfall-like stream of information appeared before him. Name Shen Anyu. Age 25. Cultivation Grandmaster late stage. Abilities Divine Steel Body, Extraordinary Lightning Ability, Extraordinary Medical Skill, Extraordinary Perception, Extraordinary Cooking, Extraordinary Music, Extraordinary Vocal Imitation, Extraordinary Speech, Extraordinary Yoga, Top-Tier Bartending, Top-Tier Dancing, Top-Tier Seasoned Expert. Items Divine Rank Storage Ring, Son of Destiny Identifier, Gold Infinite Ammo Gatling Gun, Invisibility Cloak Azure Rainbow Sword Heaven Sword, 92 boxes of Nutri Happy, 1 latest model Huawei phone, 1 Maybach, 1 Heart of the Sky ring. Destiny value 300,028. Title Great Villain of Destiny. A something's not right. Why are there over 300,000 destiny value? Shen Anyu looked at the system interface, surprised. He had expected only about 30,000 destiny value to remain. How did it suddenly increase by a full 270,000? How could Ruan Lingshan have 80 favorability? When did this happen? Did Shen Anyu lose his memory? When did he conquer Ruan Lingshan? They hadn't even officially met. Shen Anyu immediately checked the system. Ding, detected destined heroine Ruan Lingshan favorability plus 80, plundered plus 240,000 destiny value. Ding, detected destined heroine Ruan Lingshan total favorability. 80, plundered plus 30,000 destiny value. This is the notification for yesterday's reward. At that time I was. Shen Anyu rubbed his chin. What was he doing at that time? He didn't know, he only knew he was downstairs. Why does Ruan Lingshan have 80 favorability? I haven't even met her yet. Could he Ying have already recruited her? Shen Anyu directly called his housekeeper, He Weiying, to inquire about the situation. Before heading to the Magic City Rengxin Hall Pharmaceutical Company, he had instructed He Ying to recruit Ruan Lingshan as a private nurse. On the other end of the line, the housekeeper He Weiying's respectful voice came through. Young Lord, yesterday in your name, I recruited Ruan Lingshan as a private nurse. With a monthly salary of 100,000, and I even advanced her 5 million. Ruan Lingshan's mother has uremia and needs an organ transplant, which requires a huge amount of medical expenses. She couldn't refuse the 5 million advance, and upon learning it was you, she developed massive favorability. Speaking of this, He Ying said with a smile, Young Lord, you might not know, but you are now known as the national male god on the internet. Young Master Shen has become the dream of countless young girls. Ruan Lingshan is one of them. When she learned that you personally named her, she was flattered. She is already at the Jiangjing mansion, officially on the job. She is looking forward to meeting you and wants to thank you in person. However, listening to the housekeeper He Weiying's account, Shen Anyu said with a smirk, It's not that simple, is it? Ruan Lingshan is one of the destined heroines. How could she have 80 favorability so easily? Even if young Master Shen is trending on the internet, like a national male god. But Ruan Lingshan isn't a fool, they haven't even met and she has 80 favorability. Ordinary couples don't even have 80 favorability, having 60 is considered a lot. 80 favorability means that whether you are poor or rich, she will never leave you. And favorability above 90 means life and death together. Housekeeper He Ying paused, then spoke. Yes, young lord is wise, I cannot hide it from you. I had the Shanghai First People's Hospital kick out her mother, who was suffering from uremia, and fired her. At Ruan Lingshan's most desperate moment, I descended with your will, like a savior. Shen Anyu laughed and scolded. You sneaky bastard, that's how you play it. Double your year-end bonus. After hanging up the phone, Shen Anyu thought about it, and decided to go back to see Ruan Lingshan, Xia Liu's childhood sweetheart neighbor, and then go see Su Hongmian later. Shen Anyu had seen her photos, baby-faced, busty, petite at only 1.56 meters, like a big plush pillow that could be held in his arms. Soon, Shen Anyu drove the Rolls-Royce one-handed back to his Jiangjing mansion in Magic City. As soon as Shen Anyu entered his mansion, he saw a petite figure standing respectfully before him. Master, welcome home. A shy, sweet voice followed. Shen Anyu looked closely and couldn't help but praise her. Before him was a top-tier maid. Her upper body wore a black and white lace-made dress with very little fabric. Her lower body had beautiful, shapely legs, tightly wrapped in white silk stockings. Especially that exposed absolute territory, which was even whiter than the white silk, making it impossible to look away. Ruan Lingshan's small face was flushed, but she didn't stop Shen Enyu's appreciative gaze at all. With slightly parted pink lips, her shy, sweet voice sounded. Master, let me help you undress and change your shoes. Good. As a top-tier noble, Shen Anyu naturally wouldn't be restrained, and generously accepted the maid's service. After changing into a set of loose, comfortable clothes, Shen Anyu revealed a sunny, warm smile and looked at Ruan Lingshan, asking, Lingshan, how is your mother's condition? Ruan Lingshan looked at Shen Anyu with moved, slightly moist beautiful eyes, and said with a sob, It is very serious, but fortunately Master extended a helping hand. The 5 million is enough for an organ transplant and follow-up medical expenses. It's just... Speaking of this, Ruan Lingshan burst into tears. The doctor said the success rate is not high. My mother's surgery success rate is less than 1 in 10. Shen Anyu gently patted her snow-white back and comforted her warmly. Don't worry, even if it costs 10 million or 100 million, I will cure your mother. In the name of my Shen family of Yangxia, even top-tier divine doctors can be invited to perform the surgery. Ruan Lingshan looked at Shen Anyu with teary eyes, not minding the hand on her back at all, and sobbed. Master, why are you so good to Lingshan? Shen Anyu said warmly, sincerely, brightly, and softly. For such a good girl like you, does being good to you need a reason? Be good, don't cry. I hope you never cry for the rest of your life. Saying this, Shen Anyu gently wiped away the tears from the corners of Ruan Lingshen's eyes. Master, woo woo woo. Ruan Lingshen's delicate body trembled, and then she threw herself into Shen Enyu's arms, sobbing uncontrollably. Shen Anyu gently comforted Ruan Lingshen, his lips curling into an arc. That's it for today's chapter. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, and subscribe to AI Otaku Studio for more stories. Check out my other channel, Infinite Novel Audio, and I'll see you in the next chapter.